And we're live! Welcome back to the Invictus stream. My name, as always, is Harlan, and I am here with my succulent friend Chris.
Oh, that's me. Hi.
My esoteric friend Justin.
The 12.
My darling friend Mike. And we are back with Game 1, Part 7 of Call of Cthulhu! Thank you for being here with us, because you make me want to be a better man. And I can't be a better man. I'm at my peak. This is as good as it gets. It sucks, and it's not even that good. But this is, of course, an 18-plus show. I want to clear the air because we say a lot of bad words. Chris, what are some of the bad words we like to say?
I can't even say them.
Oh, you should. Do it anyway.
Shit.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
That's
too
too far,
much.
man.
That's
Get out.
Too far.
Yeah. I think I can even say that like on the air and be okay.
I know. That's
Like,
one of those.
Really not even 18A.
Either way,
Sorry.
we are 18. There are going to be words that you might not enjoy. There might be mature content that you might not enjoy. And if you don't like it, we completely understand. Please give the video a thumbs up, and you can close the window and go read a book by J.D. Salinger. All the many books he's written. You know, you got Catcher in the Rye. And the other ones. So yeah, you know, it's an 18-plus show. That's what it's going to be, and it's totally okay if you're uncomfortable with that. Just don't let us know. Sorry, my tie is crooked. It's Crockett, actually, technically. Just to clarify. So thank you all for being here tonight. Please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. We really appreciate all you guys watching and spending time with us every Wednesday. It is such a great feeling to have you here with us. And
I think we should just clarify, because I think our viewers are very realistic, and when you say thumbs up, they're probably just doing this at home.
That's all I want. Is there more we should be asking for?
No, we need actual real thumbs up.
What does that mean?
Like,
Real thumbs up is when you
subscribes.
click a button.
That has a this. This means nothing. This doesn't mean anything.
That doesn't mean anything.
Gladiator is...
That makes so much sense. I was wondering why everyone kept telling me to say that, and then they would get mad at me after. Okay, so if you like our video, please go give it a like on use face.
You face.
Yeah. Face
That's right.
novel.
Isn't that a porn
Please.
site?
Go and give us a porn site thumbs up on our YouTube page. We appreciate it, and it makes us feel great. It makes Mike feel like more of a darling, right, Mike?
Oh, and like I need a cigarette. I need like a little smoke after I get a good thumbs up.
That's right.
Because everyone is so satisfied when those thumbs come straight up. So please go and like our YouTube video. As well, please follow us on Twitter if you're a tweeter, if you're a twat and a twit. Go ahead and follow us, because Justin does fantastic work through our Twitter page and likes to communicate with all these really cool people out there, and you can be one of those cool people. So follow us on Twitter. Well, one of the many. There's so many of them.
Yes.
And you might be the person that we do our Twitter shout-out to, so keep that in mind. The other thing we want you to do is join our Facebook group, and really this should be at the top, because it's the most important thing. The Facebook group is the heart. It's the lifeblood. It's what makes us who we are. And if you're not part of it, then it's a sad existence. I know, because I wasn't a part of it for a long time, and I had a very sad, meaningless existence. So please go and join the Facebook group. It's where all the cool people are and where all the community people are talking. And right now they're having great conversations without you, but about you. So you don't want people talking about that. So go ahead, like the video. Please follow us on Twitter, as well as join our Facebook group. Now, I am going to give the Most Valuable Post award away, and I'm going to give the weekly Enigma singular winner away in just a minute. But some of our die-hard followers have been tossing back and forth a few suggestions of what we're going to be playing next. Ominous sound here.
E flat.
Many of you longtime followers know that we like to run campaigns of different series. We started off with Dragon Age, then we went to Numenera, and now we're doing Call of Cthulhu. So, thou pondereth what we doeth next. Well, without further ado, as promised, we are going to reveal what we are going to be playing next after we do the MVP post. So the MVP post this week, this is a big jerk. So the MVP post this week goes to our very own Hans Zieger for his really funny and interesting post, What Terrible Games Should the Invictus Stream Play? And there was a lot of really fun ideas. Some were more sexually provocative than others, and therefore appealed to me more. But it definitely got us thinking on a few ideas, as well as suggestions from you guys, the community, of what we want to play. So, don't worry, the Made RPG will soon come to fruition, Greg. You will get to see us in our scantily clad bikinis and armor, because obviously that's the one we're going to be playing next. Not really, though. So MVP goes to you, Hans. Well done. You earned it, buddy. Next, we are going to Ewald, the weekly enigma. And this week was not too tough. Chris put together a nice little enigma, which was a head-scratcher, don't get me wrong. But we only actually got one answer. Now, that being said, the one answer was correct. So I want to give a big good job, congratulations, to Chris Lawrence. You get 5 XP for having not only the correct answer on your first guess, but also being the only answer at all. What's up, guys? Come on. We're getting into the home stretch right now. Get your head-thinking devices on. Head-thinking devices? That's just your brain. Your brain. Put your brain on. I keep mine in a shelf covered in dust. So put that on, because Thursdays, which is tomorrow's, is a real noodle scratcher. I know, because Justin did it, and Justin is the smartest person I've ever met in the world. And I met everybody. That's true. So we are just about to announce, but I do want to do one quick shout-out to the poem. Quickly, go ahead and give your votes into the poem, because, as you guys know, every week we add a new stanza to the poem, which will be featured in the last game of this series, and it will be important to the story. So go ahead and give a quick vote on that while I announce what the next game that the Invictus stream is going to be playing will be. That was a weird way of saying it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be playing Star Wars Age of Rebellion. Now, if I was really clever and had it all queued up, I would have the Star Wars music playing right now. But I'm not, and I didn't. That's pretty much it. That's how it's recorded in the new movie. Justin did it. So we're doing Star Wars. Why are we doing Star Wars? Multiple reasons. One, we love Star Wars. Star Wars is fantastic. It's a really fun, awesome, I want to say series, but it's not just a series. It's so much more than that. It's a whole mythos. It's a whole mythology. There's so much to it, and we love it. Also, as you guys know, Star Wars is coming out. We want to be hip and happening. We want to have stuff that's current with what's going on, and come December 18th, when we're all lined up to see Star Wars in the theater, hopefully you'll be thinking about the Invictus stream, because we'll be thinking about you. So, Star Wars is going to be happening after Call of Cthulhu. If you're not a fan of Star Wars, you got a little time to become a fan of Star Wars. And if you are a fan of Star Wars, we're sorry, we're probably going to fuck up some of the history to it. Tatooine is now an ice planet. So there you have it. We are going to be doing Star Wars Age of Rebellion. Anyone who guessed Star Wars Fantasy Flight series under the poll that Chris very kindly put up a few weeks ago, you guys all receive 1 XP for being a good guesser, even though we tried to throw you off by putting Shadowrun down, which was just a very mean thing to do.
I think I voted like 6 times on that.
Yeah, everyone in the Invictus stream voted for things other than... Oh, yeah, that's perfect. There we go. Everyone in the Invictus stream voted for things other than what we were doing, just because we're dicks, apparently. So, well done, guys. You all get a little experience. Whew. Yeah. Now we're going to move on to my favorite part of the night. Right before I read the poem winners, we're going to throw it off to my pal Justin for the Twitter shout-out of the week.
Thank you, Harlan. Today's Cthulhu shout-out goes to the great Lord Cthulhu himself. May you rest in peace under the ocean until the day of reckoning. Thunglui Mugwanaf Cthulhu Relier Vaga Nagel Vadagan.
Well said.
Well said.
Jinx.
I want to sing Atlantis just at that moment there.
Way down below the ocean. We're off because it's the
damn delay.
But you know what? We tried. Chris,
we would have killed it. We would have killed it.
I was going to do the harmony. I chickened out.
It's okay. It's okay to be afraid, especially when we're playing Call of Cthulhu. Thank you, Justin, for that beautiful shout-out to that horrible monster. You are a beautiful person for doing it. So, without further ado, we're going to turn to our poem. We are going to refresh live, because I don't cheat often, and we are going to read the winner. Chris Lawrence! You win! Your stanza gets to be added to our ongoing book of deciphering knowledge that the creepy Dr. Armitage is currently trying to transcribe. So, well done, Chris. Fantastic stanza. And again, everyone, you guys do such great work with everything that we post out. We just want to do a quick old thank you for making everything just that much more interesting. You guys put a great effort forward, and it makes us want to come back even harder with more effort from us. We put more work into the stuff we do because of the stuff that you guys do. And in fact, this weekend we're going to be filming an unboxing, kind of a what is for a new board game, Kingdom Death Monster, which is filled with these really creepy, terrible, and complex, tiny little resin plastic figures, which we've never built. So we have about 1 million of these little things where the hands are actually about the size of a toothpick. So
I tend to get frustrated with finicky things like that, so if you want to see a fist fight,
yeah. If you want to see someone get killed in a fist fight, watch, because I'll take one hit and I'm down. Chris, don't you think? That's me. But you know what? I fall heavy, and hopefully I'll take them down with me. So we're going to be filming that this weekend, and again, that's because of you guys, because of the feedback you're giving, because of the viewership that you give us. It makes us want to be better people, which is how we started off this whole thing, to be better men, and now it's come full circle. So, that's it from us. Without further ado, I want to do a quick reminder to ask everybody to pay attention to Facebook, to be communicative there, spread some theories. If you guys have advice for our investigators tonight about questions to ask, leads to follow on. You know, maybe you read something into one of the NPCs that these guys missed. Start a new thread about it. Be communicative. Tell us what you think, because that's what makes this that much more fun. So, does anyone else have anything else before we start?
No. I want to play.
Shit. My book. I left my book out there. I can't start without the book.
We can't start. Go get it. We'll wait. We'll vamp. Back. Ready? Way down below the ocean.
Actually, I'm just trying to see if I can post that video from Chris's bachelor party up at the cottage, because I have that on.
Oh, we were drunk.
I don't know what video, but we likely were drunk.
Yeah. Well, that would be good, because that would show them here.
So, that was the most unprofessional we have been in this entire series, so I want to give myself a big round of applause. After doing that big diatribe about how you guys make us want to be more professional, and then forgetting something so iconic as my book. It says right on it, do not forget this stupid book. Okay.
More ties and everything.
I know, ties. It's the bonds that ties. What? All right. So here we go. Without further ado, Game 7 of our Call of Cthulhu series. Let's take a look-see. We're near the end now. 4 games. Call of Cthulhu, Game 1. Part 7. Hi, welcome back to the Invictus stream. My name, as always, is Harlan, and I am here with my investigator friend Henry, Frank, and Jarrett. Let the games begin. Stifling heat. Even at night. Jarrett, in the dim light coming from Beatrice's estate, you stare down at your grandfather's diary laying open in your hands. With a soft touch, you run your fingers over the open pages, stopping on the drawing of Frank's wife. From the back seat of Frank's car, a sense of uneasiness courses through you as you feel the car start and back away. In the cold stone of the parking lot, you see Antoine heading back towards the house. As the night sky curls and writhes miles above your heads, You each wonder what sinister secrets it holds. The crimson-colored moon that looks otherworldly stands intimidatingly proud and bigger than ever before. From the back seat, Jarrett, you stare out the window, pondering all that you have learned. The symbol on Edward, the young girl, the pages, the mystery that Anna was unraveling. And as you do, you feel a sense that you're only steps behind her. You pull the diary pages out of your jacket pocket, the ones that you found in the small attic of Beatrice's house, and you reread her lines. I must complete my mission. I must complete my mission. As the weak red light from the moon glows on the page in your hand, you suddenly fear that she never reached her goal, that whatever mission she was to complete, whatever evil she was trying to stop, still comes. And you drive down the long hill out of Beatrice's estate.
You're quiet, Jarrett.
Well, I think we only have one path. I think we only have one place to go.
What's that?
Well, I think we need to go find Anna Stanzik in, like, Arkham Asylum.
Interesting.
I think we need to bring her this and find out what her quest was, how she perceived it.
Yeah, we might have to go there. Henry, what do you think? Cat got your tongue, Henry?
Yeah, I think you got it. I think you're right. I think we got one way to go with this one.
Chris?
Well, fellas, it's late. I'm thinking maybe it might be good to head back to my place, get some good rest. It's been a long day. Maybe we could sit down and talk about what all of our options are. I've been thinking, and maybe there's some other places we should check before we go and see Anna.
What are you thinking?
Well, I'm not too sure that we want to be doing what we're being told. I'm thinking maybe it might be better to have a bit more information about everything before we go and find Anna, the person that this creature or whatever has been looking for.
Underhill, it seems like you're saying we're missing something.
I think we are. The book that we found upstairs in Anna's her little chest.
Anna's diary? Or
No, the other one, the one about the resting places. This was a part of her mission. I feel like this book has a lot of information that will help us discover what her mission was, and it has to do with those 3 soldiers.
Okay.
Now, that book was written in England, but the writer, the author, did contact people at the Arkham Historical Society, which is right here in town. If we go there, we might be able to find out more about our 3 soldiers. I don't know if you noticed, but the people in the book, the 3 soldiers, the Enti, Irwin, and Nietzsche, I believe, they're all listed.
Yeah, I saw that. But only one of them was listed as being in Arkham.
Only one of them is in Arkham, but chances are we'll be able to learn a bit more information about them in general. Find out what their story was, why he was moved to Arkham, he didn't stay in Europe. We learned about Enti Walder, who was stolen from the Smithsonian, but then returned the next day back in...
That's pretty bizarre.
That was in 1882, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And the other person that we're looking for is Irwin, and in the book, there's an Irwin Kipling, not Walder, and he's still in Europe by all accounts, but we don't know. He might have been moved. The author's sources might have been wrong. I don't know, but we can find out more about whether this Irwin Kipling in the book is the same as the one that we see in the Three Soldiers poem.
Yeah.
I think we might get some more information out of the Historical Society than we'll get out of Anna in the sanitarium.
I think you might be right. Not to mention, you know, I want to go in with everything we can know before we even go to her, so we know what questions to ask, even.
Exactly. Exactly. What are your thoughts, Jarrett?
I'm on board. I think it sounds like a good pace, a good way to go.
All right. So I bring the car back to my place.
Okay.
And I say, all right, well, let's get some sleep. Are you guys hungry, or you got enough to eat at the party?
I'm set.
That's more food than I've had in a while, and better food.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine myself.
Perfect. Okay, so the three of you head up to Frank's apartment, and after kind of taking the positions that you had in the nap during the day, you find your way to your separate quarters. Henry and Jarrett, you sleep out on the pull-out couch. Frank, you sleep in your bedroom. And as you each sleep, you dream, feverish dreams about fields filled with trees, black trees, shapeless trees, almost like amorphous blobs, but as you approach them, they writhe and move, and long strands of hands come out them. And as you approach, you see human hands, black nails, too many fingers. And the trees sway slowly. And separately, you each have these dreams, and yet, just before you wake up, you see each other in the dream. Far off, in the hillside, Henry, you see Frank. And Frank, you see Henry. Jarrett, you see Frank and Henry. And the three of you have a puzzled look right before you wake up. Did you set an alarm?
I would have, yep.
Okay, and what time?
6 a.m.
Okay, so, Frank, your alarm goes off at 6 a.m. Wearily, you open your eyes to blackness. It is your bedroom, but something's off. You walk to the curtains and slowly draw them back to see the night sky, exactly as it was when you went to bed. The sky still writhes and moves. A crimson-colored moon sits beyond the clouds. You double-check your watch and the clock next to your bed, 6 o'clock. And yet, it still looks as if it's midnight.
Oh, that's weird. So I turn on the lights.
Okay.
And make my way into the kitchen.
And I hear this. I hear him rummaging in there. I go, is it time to get up already?
Oh, I'd like to have an early start. I generally can't sleep too much later these days.
What time is it?
6 o'clock, but you wouldn't tell by looking outside. Have you had a look?
No, I just woke up. Get out of bed and go into the kitchen. I say, you got any coffee?
It's boiling.
Sit down at the table. What do you mean you couldn't tell if I had a look? What if I had a look at?
It's still dark out. Kind of weird. Moon is red.
Cloudy, you mean? So what the hell are you talking about? I go over to the window and I take a look.
And you see what he saw, the sky rise, it almost as if it's breathing, and the crimson-colored moon still shines brightly. And yet, people walk the streets as if they're going to work, and they look up. And it seems as if it's an average morning, and yet it still looks like it did when you left Beatrice's party.
Well, that's weird. And I walk over to Jarrett and I wake him up. He usually knows stuff about this. I wake up Jarrett.
Oh, sorry guys. What's going on?
Jarrett, come take a look at this. Sorry to wake you. Look outside. The sky, it's dark. It's 6 o'clock and the moon is blood red.
Guess at this point I'd put on my glasses because it probably.
Not if you sleep in them with no lenses. You're fine.
Phony.
All right. Well, I'll take a look at it and again, just I guess in this case, again, I'd probably try to rely on an occult roll, or just see if, again, if anything about blood moons comes back into memory from anything I've learned that way.
Yeah, give me an occult roll.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see what's going on here. Oh, well, I'm going to say that no, it doesn't seem very familiar to me.
Okay.
Other
So,
than,
yeah.
you know, like maybe Red Sky at Night, Sailor's Delight. But that's maybe not the case.
Where's Red Moon at night? Red Moon at day, sailors die. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, no, you walk over, and again, you're taken with the same amount of awe, but also tremendous fear that has taken Frank and Henry as you look at what should be a perfectly beautiful day. The heat from the day still exists. What is still the hottest week in all of Arkham is overcast, and it's a bizarre and disturbing sight.
Now, are we expecting anything like this on the news, like an eclipse or anything?
Nothing that you remember hearing, but if you want to give me an education roll or something along those lines, we can always see.
We can turn on the radio, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
I go turn on the radio.
Well, education I made, but just barely.
Okay. So while Henry's standing at the radio, he flicks it on, and scanning through channels, you find nothing. Static. And typically, Frank, you know that you get a pretty strong signal, and for whatever reason, the station is not being picked up. And Jarrett, you kind of lean out the window and give a little education roll, and you're pretty confident that there is no
Astrological.
there's no astrological reason that this would happen right now. That there's no eclipse scheduled. All right, we got a 5 o'clock eclipse. Getting pushing. Yeah, you're late, sure.
So it wasn't like this last night, right?
Yeah.
No, yes, it was. When you went to bed, it was like this as well.
Oh, last night. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes, when you left Aunt Beatrice's house, it was a odd-looking sight. It was an otherworldly sky, much like the one you see now. The only difference is it didn't go away. You woke up, and it looks as if you just went to bed. Time-wise, it looks minutes later.
Weird. All right.
I go and look at myself in the mirror. Does it look like I've slept?
Interesting. All right, give yourself an appearance roll. Because I think there's an appearance one, isn't there?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
It's like the first time we're ever going to use it.
Okay, my dice stream hasn't been working. Oh, there you go. I'm successful.
Oh, perfect. So yeah, you give yourself a good once over, and you look well rested. You look like you slept a good number of hours, at least the prescribed number of hours, the hours that you did sleep. So no, it doesn't look like. It does look like time has passed. Just the sky has not changed.
What do you think's going on, Jarrett?
Again, I'm sorry, guys. I got nothing on this one. And again, I would maybe take a look at my grandfather's diary and see if there's any reference to a blood moon in there. Because again, maybe as a sailor, he saw something.
All right. So why don't you give me a spot hidden, library use, whatever you'd like to kind of search through your grandfather's diary.
Oh, with library use, that sounds,
Library.
Library. Libation.
Library. And yeah, so check it out and see if there's something in there.
Okay, and you're pretty well versed with your grandfather's diary as well. So you do recall something of a blood moon, and you kind of flick to it. And the page that describes the blood moon is all but torn out. The top of it says something along the lines of the blood moon, the calling sign for the end of days. And it's not actually written in your grandfather's pen. It looks scribbled and scratchy. And you remember this section, as it does have a foreword through your grandfather, as it was actually transcribed by another man that they found in the water, ranting and raving, but speaking of things that your grandfather had knowledge of, and this was something that he said. There's no name or date, but judging by the timeline of the grandfather's diary being chronological, you can guess this was when he was much younger.
Well, again, I would pass all of that information along and let them know that there is just a quick little reference in there, but not my grandfather's handwriting. And I could show it to them and then, explain all of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jared, do you think that your grandfather ripped this off because he didn't believe it? Or was it ripped out recently since you've gotten it?
That's an excellent question. I would like to ask my keeper.
No, it does look like it was ripped out a long time ago. Possibly right after it was written.
Like he's noticed that there's been a page. Yeah.
As to why, it's a bit tough to know, but it definitely feels like it was, or it was definitely ripped out a long time ago.
Yeah.
Probably because it was an ignorant farmer
obviously
that was pulled from the water. And ignorant farmers,
most
What do they know?
those seafaring ignorant farmers. I don't know why I'm out here. I can't grow nothing here.
These water crops are terrible. They're being drowned out. All right, what's the plan, guys?
Well, I don't think there's much we can do about the moon, and there's still a chance that there's a little girl out there. Let's get moving.
Well, right now we're looking for Roland's daughter. That's our main concern. That's our main.
Well, we got lots of things. That is our main concern, and we think that we can get. She's involved somehow with this cult. We think it's all connected, right?
Yeah. Here's a half-baked theory. This cult wanted Roland to find Anna. This cult isn't good.
I'm pouring coffee for you guys as it is.
Yeah. This cult is clearly evil. I mean, they sent Edward to kill us if they were working together. I have a feeling they were. They used blackmail tactics on us, on Roland. They wanted us to find Anna. And if we do find Anna, you think that's going to be a good thing?
Well, actually, here's another thought, and I'm just throwing this out there.
Yeah, shoot.
Because, again, like, now that I'm thinking about it, and you were saying let's go not to Anna right away, we may be leading guys to Anna that we shouldn't. Is it possible they didn't know where she was?
They're using us to figure that out?
I find it hard to believe that they wouldn't know where Anna is.
They seem to be one step ahead of us. If they seem to be more clever than us. So I don't think that they would need us to figure that out.
No, if she's at the sanitarium, that would be one of the first places they'd look. I mean, they were able to extort all of us and had power to do horrible things, and obviously their reach is quite far. To not know that Anna was at the sanitarium seems like a...
What if they can't go to the sanitarium for some reason?
Well, maybe they can't.
And maybe us going there is going to help finish some sort of ritual or something. They were trying to use Anna to do this ritual, and we saw presence of the black goat even in Anna's aunt's house, where Anna was at one time being kept. Maybe her being brought out of there stopped something from happening.
So there's, I hear what you're saying. I think it makes a lot of sense. So there's kind of two theories right now. Either the cult is using Anna and manipulating Anna to complete a ritual, but Anna got trapped at the sanitarium and could no longer complete it, and we're sent along to let her free. Or Anna is trying to finish the mission of preventing whatever bad is going to happen. And I gesture to the moon.
Again, we don't know. We're letting our imaginations run wild with us, but we don't really have any evidence either way.
It's true.
We can only follow the leads we have. Now, I agree, something tells me we shouldn't go to Anna first. I think we should go find out what the meaning of the 3 soldiers. Because clearly that is the thing that's tying all this together. We've seen it too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should go to the Archaeological Society?
The historical, yeah.
Historical Society. Let's go there first. I think
So one thing I noticed, could I borrow your sketchbook there, Jarrett?
Absolutely.
And I flipped to the page with the gravestone. Okay. All right. And I show you guys the gravestone, and it says Mycl Walden, W-A-L-D-E-N. And he lived from 1202 to 1255. Now, look in the book, we've got a Mycl Walder, who lived from 1202 to 1255.
You think it's somebody made a mistake?
Maybe, or the Mycl Walder isn't one of the 3 soldiers. We can be pretty sure that Mycl Walden is one of the 3 soldiers because it's got de tribus militibus at the bottom.
Or maybe they buried the wrong guy there.
But why would they label it de tribus militibus?
Again, maybe they have the wrong body. I don't know.
Is it also possible that coming over here, he just changed his name slightly?
To Walden? Yeah.
Where was it that we actually had the other guy's name? It was in the book, right? Anna's book?
Yeah, the history of dead people.
You know, often when they do censi, they would, you know, a lot of times it's handwritten, especially the old ones, and it's really easy to misread a smudge or something. It's possible that the names just got crossed, and it is the same guy.
Yeah, possibly. I just wanted to see what you guys thought about that, because
again, though, where does that bring us? That brings us back to the Historical Society.
It does. So we should head there once it's open, probably around 8, 9 o'clock, you think?
So the Historical Society is more of a club. It's a very fancy club downtown Arkham, which runs 24 hours. Think of it more like a men's club, where explorers and history buffs would go and share stories and smoke pipes. And
so we might find, for example, that explorer that we saw at Beatrice's party there.
Very possible. However, you do remember overhearing that he was going on his trip very soon, so he might be getting ready. Yeah. Yep. But then again, it was just last night, so who knows?
Okay, so is it something that'd be hard to get into?
I don't know. Have you guys ever gone before?
Be like a member to get in from what the reputation that we know about?
I think most people are only interested in talking to those that know something. I think it would not be difficult to walk in and speak to people, but it would be difficult for them to speak back.
So unless we have something interesting to say?
Possibly, or you could always ask them if there's someone that would be willing to talk to you. Or you can
well,
just
we have a pretty good story.
And we got
a book.
We have a very.
But I don't know how much we want to share, too, right?
I think that we'd be able to talk about the 3 soldiers. I mean, it's not like they're a hidden secret. They are in this book. The author obviously spoke to the Historical Society, so it's not like it was a big secret for them. It went public. One thing that I was thinking, though, is that if we're going to be going to the sanitarium anyways, at some point, maybe, it might be a good idea to get consent from Beatrice. And maybe while we're getting consent from her, we'd be able to get a note of recommendation for us for the club, because she might have some ties there. Might be able to get it from her or from her butler.
Only as a side note, because we did brief over Aunt Beatrice in the past, because the last game was running over a bit. But you do know that Aunt Beatrice told you that she has had no contact with her, and that essentially she assigned her over to the state. Meaning that she at this point in her time, because she wanted to cut all ties, she didn't want people coming around asking about anything because she was essentially ashamed. that there is no tie from Beatrice to Anna. So it wouldn't really be a benefit to ask her permission.
Again, if we're just going to go on these spitball hypotheses, is it possible, Nietzsche Walden and like we're saying, Walder and Walden are the same guy, but maybe it's two personality types or something. I mean, he had heterochromia, which is pretty rare. I don't know if that's probably not linked to it, but just as a thought, maybe he did have these two different names that he went under.
Interesting. Well, we will be able to find out whether or not he was buried under the church up there.
He often blurred the lines between right and wrong, as we read in the past, right?
So you think that he might have had multiple personality disorder?
Well, I don't know I know very little about psychology, but it's strange to see someone with two different colored eyes. And they say that eyes are often the window to the soul, so maybe he's got two souls.
Well, yeah, you may be right, but I think we are getting a little wishy-washy here.
I agree.
Okay.
I think this keeps bringing us back to the same place.
Historical society. Can we think of any ways that'll help set us up for good measure in there? What was the name?
What about Seymour?
Seymour? I don't think he was part of the Historical Society.
I don't want to talk to him. He's bad news.
He said he was. He was a banker. So maybe, though. He did seem like he liked to talk. Let's see. We'll roll for luck. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, to your knowledge, it's not an excluding place. Again, people might not be interested in talking to you, but I don't think they're going to throw you out.
Sure, okay. But, I mean, what about name-dropping what's-his-face?
What is his name?
What was the fellow who was there last time? The adventurer. I wonder if your book will tell us, Jared.
Great spirits of inquiry, please help.
But yeah, that's something to think about. I mean, I want to go there and get information. I don't want to be snubbed. So, but either way, that's where we're gonna have to go, I think.
All right, so let's go there. So, you guys head outside, and you step on the pavement in Frank's apartment, and again, you're wafted with the heat as you've been wafted with every day this week. But you get an eerie sense with the darkness overhead, and now it's 7 o'clock, 7:30, and you look around, and everyone has an odd look about them. The same you must be feeling, but I guess because they're not as used to this sort of mysterious, unexplained things, they're reacting a little weirder, and they're kind of walking around, everyone's kind of looking over their shoulder very nervously, and yeah, the dim light from that moon, which again, it's essentially night, it just glows everything with an odd aura of red. And you kind of each shudder as you get into the car and you drive over. And of course you grabbed your gun, and of course you grabbed the dagger. Don't worry. All right, so you drive over to the Historical Society, and as you pull up, of course it's still night, and you get out, and the streets are a little more lively. Now, again, for the time of day, it seems pretty normal, but because it feels like night, it feels like an oddly busy time, or an oddly busy site. So you get out of your car and walk in through the big double doors of the Historical Society, and unlike a business, there's no one sitting at a desk. It's just a single passage back into a large study. And as you walk back, the scent of a burning fire in this heat is kind of immediately touches your nose, and you see huge, beautiful leather armchairs, books lining the walls with ladders reaching up stories high, and a few people kind of walk about the place.
Okay, anyone behind a desk or of importance?
No, again, it's sort of a come as you go, as you would like.
It's less of a business type thing. It's like people hang out here to drink and have a good hang out together.
Yeah, think of it as a library, but sure enough, if you don't fit in, I'm sure someone will come up to you and ask you to leave.
Okay.
Well, could we do it as we're here on behalf of Dr. Armitage and one of his students?
Sure. Yeah, you can definitely try that. It would be a bluff or a persuade, but you could definitely do that.
I'm going to try to listen in on some conversations, if that's okay. Some eavesdropping?
Sure, give me a listen roll.
Sure. Let me know if you guys can see that.
Yep. Success.
Yeah, so it's an extreme success.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So as you're standing there, you hear the crackling fire and a few people speak back and forth. One of them speaks in a hushed tone about the darkened sky. But as you listen in on his conversation, it seems to be more meandering thoughts about an eclipse that was unscheduled, and the ominous red glow from the moon just seems to be the reflection of the sun behind the earth. Very, very thoughtful, logical approaches. And yet, between the three of you, you know that there is something a little more sinister behind the sky. You don't hear anything pertaining to what you're looking for. But no, you wouldn't hear. I don't think anyone would be speaking about anything you're looking for unprompted.
Okay.
Or anything we can? Is there anything we can like? Nothing that we would know enough about to talk about.
Well, again, the conversation you're overhearing, it seems to be inquisitive and a bit meandering about the sky.
Okay. Well, then I will walk over to whoever's having that conversation and say, "Do you suppose the weather, the curious weather that we're having, has anything to do with that moon?"
Okay, so you kind of walk up to two men who are with gray beards that are coming down and large chests puffed out, and each one speaks a little more with a little more weight than the other, and yet they are still in hushed tones, because for historical society this is almost like gossip. Yeah. And they kind of eye you over. And you can tell immediately that they're not apprehensive about you joining the conversation, but rather what your stature is. And this is not to say that they're afraid of your stature to be too low. At this point, I think they're worried that your stature is too high, that overhearing their lame conversation, which is essentially gossip, might look poorly on them.
Okay. Well, I reach a hand out towards them. Gentlemen, I know this is, perhaps it's not the most highbrow conversation that we could be having, but you have to admit, the weather does seem a little odd. I mean, it's cloudy. It appears to be night, and the weather has yet to be broken that temperature. Sorry, my name is Dr. McFarlane. Reach a hand out to him.
Give me a persuade.
I'll say nicely done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try a luck roll.
Okay.
Or how does that work? Luck, I can reduce
you
it?
You can spend luck to alter it, or you can
Can I spend 8 luck points?
Yeah, it's up to 10, we said.
Okay, so I'll spend 8 luck points, because I've never spent luck, and let's say we make it work.
Okay, perfect. So, you succeed, just barely. So the more stucky of the two kind of turns his head away slowly. And I would say the older man grabs your hand, and his sweaty, dry hand kind of shakes yours, and he says, "It is quite marvelous, isn't it?"
Yes, the way that the blood moon really only occurs when the atmosphere reflects only the redder spectrum of the sun's light and projects that onto the moon, but again, that should not be happening at this time.
And the snobbier of the two kind of turns towards you and says, "Yes, that's exactly what I was saying. I do believe it is something of a technical nature." And then the other one pipes up and says, I must say, as much as that is the convenient explanation, it just seems more ominous than that, doesn't it?
I would have to agree, especially with the happenings that I've been noticing of late. I've noticed men with very strange tattoos, and I've noticed people acting very strange as of late. Have you seen anything of that nature?
So the snobbier of the two kind of scoffs at what you're saying, and turns around and walks away. The older man watches him leave and steps towards you. "You know, you sound awfully lot like Ackerman, but I must admit that I am not versed in the natures of which you speak. While I do concede that there are interesting things afoot, I would not be able to weigh intelligently on them."
I am a scientific man myself, and I would like to explain this as, a lot of my research is through meteorology, and like I said, the easy explanation is, I said, the spectrum of light. But that is not the case in this situation. Is it possible there's something supernatural going on?
Oh, like I said, I know nothing about that. You'd be talking to the wrong man, I'm afraid.
Who would be the right man?
What's that, Frank?
I said,
I was just going to... I cleared my throat, and I say, excuse me, you mentioned Ackerman?
And he kind of looks at you nervously and stares at Henry, kind of waiting for Henry to nod them into the conversation.
Oh, my apologies. This is Mr. Underhill. He is a very prolific researcher as far as the supernatural is concerned. Again, I'm more scientific, but conversation with him is quite interesting.
And Jarrett, what are you doing?
I'm actually at this point just sort of standing behind them and just in awe of both of them at how they can so smoothly get involved in this conversation, because I've never actually been able to just walk up to people and just start conversations.
Did I get this gentleman's name?
That's incredible to me.
Okay, perfect. No, you didn't get the gentleman's name, but he kind of turns to Frank, and between the two of you and says, Ackerman would be the man you're looking for, J.D. Ackerman. He owns a bookshop just around the corner. He often tries to persuade the conversation to the more occult in nature, but we are, of course, men of science and typically try to shy away from that. While I do admit myself often will entertain the notion that there may be some supernatural look at it, I am by no means the expert. Ackerman would be the man.
Yes, he's an author as well, right?
Yes, I believe he is, yes.
There's a book, I haven't read it myself, but I hear interesting things about it. I guess I'd have to speak to him, but it's called The Original Resting Place? Original Resting Places of...
J.D. Ackerman is an author, and a well-established one. I would have no doubt believing that he has written such a book.
Ah.
Now, if you excuse me, and he kind of turns his, my brandy is getting a bit empty for this early in the morning, but you wouldn't know the time looking outside, and that's my excuse. And he walks over to an illegal bar.
Well, that was fruitful.
May have been. This Ackerman is he was mentioned in that book that we found in Anna's box.
Yeah, it's the one pertaining to the bodies and where the finding resting places are.
That's right. All the bodies that were moved, it says the information of the original resting places of these people can be found in J.D. Ackerman's book.
And is Walden the one who's supposed to be here in Arkham?
Walder is supposed to be here in Arkham. That is Nietzsche Walder. N.T. Walder is supposed to be in the Smithsonian.
Is it possible that Ackerman could be one of the people who had stolen the bodies, or... I don't think... Actually, no, that doesn't make sense, as why would he publish that in his book?
Well, because they might have just been trying to play as closely to the truth as possible. Wow, I'm talking in a British accent. I've only been in here for 5 years.
Surely good. We've only been in this club for like 5 years. Yeah.
How does it happen? Well, I think that's a pretty good place to start, or to continue.
Well, it's right next door anyway.
Accent for a New Englander.
Yeah, you need a New England accent.
I do, don't I?
So perfect. Okay, so you kind of look at each other and nod, and you decide to head over to J.D. Ackerman's bookstore, and a short walk down the darkened street as vagrants kind of pass by you. And again, as you guys know, the city of Arkham has really taken a nasty turn in regards to who inhabits the street, and typically they're reserved for nighttime, but now, being the day is night, it's kind of a no-holds-bar, and you see street corners filled with vermin and people, and just it's quite an uncomfortable sight, and you almost feel nervous walking the street, especially you, Jared, as you kind of take the back of these two more older, foreboding people. You kind of hide behind them nervously, and eventually you round a corner and see J.D. Ackerman's bookstore, and you enter. And you enter the small bookshop, which again is in the heart of Arkham, as well as the Historical Society, and the damp smell of books and the dark wood walls, it feels ancient, but cozy. And as you make your way back, walking between the massive stacks of books piled all around you, you feel a bit claustrophobic. But you eventually break through the sea of books, and you reach a small wooden mahogany desk with an oil lamp illuminating the area. And as you stand there, you see shadows cast on the walls, and it gives an ominous feeling to the shop. And on the desk is a small sign that says, "Ring bell for help."
And I turn to the guys and I say, keep an eye on this guy. Just based on the way that other fellow spoke about him, I don't know if he's a friend or if he's into the occult. I mean,
So I take my gun and I make sure that it's in my pocket and just check it and make sure that it's easy enough that I could keep a hand in a pocket and maybe do one of those.
Do you have a gun?
We had 3 handguns.
I know you had a shotgun.
We ended up having 3 because we ended up having Roland's handgun.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, so you put your gun in your pocket?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just there. It's not like
Yeah.
in my coat pocket because I'd have my overcoat on. How do you want to play
In the
this?
heat of the
Frank?
summer, why not?
Yeah. Well, we gotta look good, right? Frank, do we mention the tombstone?
we might have to, because it would be good to know whether or not he is. Yeah, I think we might have to, but let's try to save it. Let's try to save it for
We could do something like, people call us the 3 soldiers or something like that. To coyly bring it up and see how he reacts.
Yeah. Okay. You want to do the talking?
I can see what's going on. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So we look for J.D. Ackerman.
Well, there's the bell.
Oh yeah, sorry, the bell. So we ring the bell.
And behind the desk is a long wall and an open door leading to what you assume is a back room. And after a minute of ringing the bell, or a second of ringing the bell, sorry, you do hear sort of an exhausted and a voice with some immediacy behind it, and it says, "Sorry, we're closed."
Oh, that's too bad. We're big book lovers, and I know you have a great selection here. Just a few questions, please.
No, sorry, I can't speak right now. Sorry, I should have locked the door. I know it's confusing because it is technically day and it looks night, but no, we're closed. I'm sorry.
We're really on kind of a
Can I move to where the voice is coming from?
Yeah, you can see that the voice is coming from an open door just to the side of the desk. It's within walking distance.
Yeah, I'll walk there and see what I see.
Perfect. So, Jarrett, you walk over and you kind of round a small corner and you see a young man in his early 30s with thick-rimmed glasses and a tight little mustache, and he's poring over piles of books and he's feverishly writing, and he kind of looks up and he says, "I'm sorry, we're closed."
Yeah, I understand that. Is Mr. Ackerman available?
Yes, and he stands up and he says, "Yes, I'm Mr. Ackerman," and he kind of wipes dust off his hand and he holds out his hand.
Hello, sir. I'm really pleased, and I really apologize, but I'm here on behalf of my friends and I. We need to talk, sir.
And he kind of looks back at his pile of books and he says, "Look, I can help you really quick, but and he walks out.
I appreciate
To
anything.
the 3 of you. And he walks out to the 3 of you and he kind of says, "Okay, yeah, what can I help you find? Or do you know what you want? I can sell it to you right now if you need it."
We are looking for some rare books on symbolism, and it's funny because we do a lot of this. We do a lot of research, and people say we won't give up. They call us the 3 soldiers, really.
And as you're talking, he's kind of like being like, "Come on."
What is it in Latin? Tribus?
De tribus militibus.
Yeah, that's what they call us. That somebody told us that, dude. Isn't that funny?
And you do see his eyes perk up a little bit.
And we understand that you're very familiar with, burials and stuff. Like, we actually have your book. We'd love for you to sign it if you could.
You have my book?
No, not your book. We're looking for your book.
Yes. Sorry, we want to buy a book
yeah.
so we can get it signed by you.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, I do. I have it. I have it in the back actually. And he walks around, and you hear some shuffling.
While he's in the back, I say he's much younger than he should be. Unless he's the son or something. The original resting place of J.D. Ackerman was referenced in The Last Breath in 1899.
Let's see what.
Oh, sorry, that's my mistake. Then he is in his mid-50s.
Okay.
Sorry, my bad.
All right. No, I think he just looks young for his age.
Well, I could argue and say it's a reprint and that was added after, but we'll just say it was a mistake and he is 50. So he comes back out with a copy of his book and he slaps it down and says, "Here you go." It's and he tells you the appropriate amount of money for that time and age.
Wonderful. The Walders, where can I find them?
Why do you want to look for the Walders?
Just curious. This.
And he kind of backs
the
away.
name somewhere.
And as you're talking, he kind of backs away from the counter and crosses his arms. Like, I don't know what you guys want, but I think you should probably leave.
Yeah, that's not going to happen until we have a little bit of a conversation. Mr. Ackerman, obviously you're suspicious of us, so we might as well come clean. What do you know about Walden?
And you can tell he's extremely uncomfortable. And he thinks for a second. Look, I don't know what you want, but I have extremely important work to do right now. And if you have any shred, I don't know if you do, but if you have any shred in your body that says the world is a good place to live, then you need to leave me alone right now.
Really? So does this have something to do with the red moon outside and the night being day and the day being night?
And again, his eyes kind of flick.
So let's see what kind of work you're doing. And I pull the gun out.
Okay, so you point it at him?
Yeah, I say, Mr. Ackerman, I think we can work together, and I don't want this to escalate any further.
So is this why you pull a gun on me?
Clearly, you're not interested in helping us. You want us away as soon as possible. Show me what you've been working on, answer some questions, and no one's going to get hurt. There's someone we're trying to help. A little girl needs us.
He walks to the back, and
I follow her. I follow her, and I was like, let's see those hands. Keep them up.
And he keeps his hands up, and he walks over to the desk that he was tirelessly bent over when Jarrett interrupted him. And he kind of points to a sheet that he's been drawing. He says, "I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is happening and what is going on." And you can see the texts and tomes that he's poring over are ancient and notes about what the red moon means and all these kind of little notes that he's been scratching.
And I lean into Jarrett and Frank. I say, you know, maybe it's time we told him what's going on. I don't know. Do you trust this guy? And I want to do a psychology check on him.
Okay, give him a
Does he seem like? Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. So
Frank,
you look at him.
I ask Frank and I ask Jared. Jared, do you trust this guy?
Rather than answering Henry, I would probably try to look at what he was looking at using either occult or library use, whatever, and just see if I could make a connection that he missed.
Sure. So, Jarrett, you slide into his seat and you kind of start looking over his notes as he stands there with his hands up.
As this is going on, I'm going to hand my gun to Frank and say, I'm just going to go close the door and make sure no one interrupts us.
Okay. And you can see that this guy is extremely worried now.
Why are you so worried? What's so important?
Are you
Just
fucking
tell
serious?
us.
Why am I so worried? You're pointing a gun at me, and I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong. I woke up this morning and it was black as night, and I'm sorry, but a blood moon is never a good thing.
Blood moon.
Yeah. And you're asking me what's wrong? For all I know, the world could be ending, and you're holding me up for what? Do you want money? I don't have any fucking money.
No, we don't want any money. We just want information. What do you know about the blood moon? Do you have any reason to
I'm
believe...
trying to figure out what the blood moon means. I don't know yet.
So
I've been up for 3 hours.
Nothing happened before today that would have led you to believe that a blood moon might happen. No strange rituals.
Look, I don't know how many people understand what's going on in Arkham, but something real bad is coming, and for all I know, this is the last sign before it comes.
We know. I think we're on the same trail as you.
Well, which side of this trail are you on? Because right now, you're the only one pointing a gun at me.
I think we should... Can someone else do a psychology check on them?
Yeah, I can, because, again, I passed whether you want to use occult or library use.
Yes, so you're poring over his notes, and...
so it would make sense to do the, like, check him out and see what he's thinking.
Okay, so give me a psychology as well, and we'll combine the two and see what we can find.
Yeah, and the psychology is fine as well.
Okay, so Jarrett, you pore over this guy's notes as well as kind of read some of the titles of the books that he has. And afterwards, you kind of glance up at him and see him standing there with his arms, and you can tell beyond any doubt in your mind that this guy is trying to solve this.
Does he seem guilty about it? Like he's trying to solve it because he screwed something up?
That would require an extreme, but no, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like he's genuine in his pursuit of trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
All right, so I hand the gun back to Henry.
I say, Mr. Sorry, what's his name?
Mr. It's on the door.
Yeah, Mr. Ackerman. We're as scared as you are. We're trying to solve this and figure this all out. Let's just work together. You know, 4 heads are better than 1. I apologize about the gun. I don't know who to trust at this point. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now. We're going to have a conversation. Just know I have this piece if I need it. I'm going to take the gun off you right now. Don't do anything stupid. I put the gun in my pocket. Let's sit down and let's have a little conversation.
Now, again, during that, like, the scan, going through what he's looking at.
So did you find anything that would kind of, you could piece together through it?
Well, I was also going to ask if I saw any symbols of the black goat or anything like that as well.
Okay, so what you can tell by his research into this is it's again fairly preliminary based on what he's told you and what he has written down here, and probably why he was working so feverishly on it is to essentially catch up. You don't see anything referencing anything that you guys have come across so far. All of it seems to be speculative information about what the blood moon symbolizes, what it means, and all you can kind of decipher based on what he's written so far is that the blood moon is an omen, symbolic to the coming of, well, the coming of some unknown deity of some sort, which then would bring about the end of days.
Does anyone else regret cranking that typewriter thing with the crow that said the black goat, the black goat, the black goat? I blame us.
I blame you too. So
yeah.
So he sits down in a chair and he says, "Can I put my arms down?"
Yes, put your arms down. Hang on. And I go in and I check the drawers and everything, make sure there's nothing.
You do a thorough sweep of his desk as well as the back office.
Spot hidden. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a spot hidden roll.
Hard success.
Okay. No, you don't find anything of nefarious means, and besides a bunch of books, pieces of paper, it doesn't seem to be anything that stands out.
So I say we start filling them in on what's going on with us. What do you think, Frank and Jared?
Well, roll a persuade or something on him, because you've confronted him in a very reactive manner, and while your tone explained that you're fearful would normally kind of counteract, you also then threaten him again by saying you have a gun. So
yeah, but again, if I explain the whole journey we're on, he's worried about, and he sees that, you know, we don't trust a lot of people because of what's happened to us.
He definitely, but if he doesn't trust you the same way you trust, like, okay, you don't trust him right now, right?
No.
That same amount of fear is going to be by him. So you need to persuade him that you are earnest in what you're saying, that you do not fear. Essentially, this is his psychology roll. But rather than have him roll psychology on you, I'll just have you roll persuade, or something equal.
Persuade, credit rating.
Not credit rating.
Yeah, I'll
That's not good because I.
We're good for it.
Not in authenticity.
I'll try persuade.
Okay.
Okay, and while he's doing this and with planning this sort of thing, I am.
Oh, no, that's successful.
Unsuccessful?
No, it is successful.
Is successful. Perfect. And sorry, Jarrett?
So I was going to say, while he's going to be talking about and telling about the journey, take a step back, and I am going to write some of this down in my grandfather's diary, as well as then start sketching just this. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Meaning you're going to take notes down in the diary as in aid asking for spiritual help, or just to take notes of it?
Perhaps, yes.
A little bit of both. All right. So J.D. Ackerman believes that you are earnest in your approach.
I'm trying to figure out what I would tell him if I'm trying to spill everything. Because,
don't
like,
know.
do I tell him about Roland? Do I tell him about the ghoul? Do I tell him about the creature we found in the woods and hit with lightning?
Well, if you want, I got visuals.
You can do a visual presentation.
Everything that you mentioned, I have etchings of.
Basically, what we want from him is information about the three soldiers.
At this
And if
point,
there's a
I will
connection to
Well, I will tell you this much. At this point, you can surmise, based on Jarrett's psychology roll and his demeanor, that J.D. Ackerman is someone who can be of help to you. And at this point, yeah, intimidation or holding back is only going to hinder what you need to figure out. Well, relationship and information. There's nothing, besides saving the world, to his knowledge, well, there's nothing to tell him. Again, you do seem genuine in your approach to it, but ultimately he seems like he might think that he could do it himself, type thing.
Okay, then in that case, I spill my guts about everything. I tell him about being contacted by Roland, about meeting at Savini's, about the ghoul and how that led us to
Anna's place.
And we show them the drawings of the black goat, and we show him everything, and he has to do a sanity roll.
And
So his brain melted.
The fact that the grave was empty.
Should we have too much detail?
So you tell him everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we say, listen, this is why I pulled a gun on you. We know shit's going down. That's not very 1920s.
Yeah.
You said fuck.
Hey, that's a good saying. I'm gonna start saying that.
Shit's going down.
I'm gonna coin that. Shit is going down.
So after
very-
after you fill him in, he stands up and he kind of paces around the room. Holy shit. Oh, man. So that's why you mentioned the three soldiers. You're trying to figure out if I knew anything.
We didn't know if we could trust you.
Okay, no, I understand. Weird way to go about it, but I understand. There's a lot of stuff on the line here. You can't misstep, so I don't fault you for that. Well, yeah. Okay, what do you need to know? I know a lot about what you're talking about. I wrote a book on it. I literally wrote the book on what you're talking about. Well, to a degree, at least where Nietzsche and NT were originally from it, and things like that. Well, look, let me start with this. If we're talking about the body for the time being, okay?
Yeah.
First off, most bodies that were brought over here were rarely even from the same family. Even if they had the same name, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case here. Okay, see, like shipping 30 years ago, shipping bodies over here wasn't cheap. Often, if word got around that someone was being shipped back, another family would tack on their own body to be carried. So my guess here is that someone, not part of the family, wanted to keep these two together.
Is it possible that the body, they mixed them up, burying them?
No, I don't think so. See, Walder is the true name. Nietzsche Walder. I found many references to Nietzsche Walder through my entire studies. But after reading his book, which he referenced to my book, I know he got it wrong. I don't know who they were, but I can tell you right now that they did not have the same last name. See, back then, Walder was think of it as a bad name, a cursed name, a name that nobody wants. So when they brought him over here, they would change Walder to Walden in order to kind of separate the two. You know, not only that, think broken telephone times a million. Think one name passed through generations and generations. So everything I read on Nietzsche says this guy was a bad guy. He was someone who you would not want your family to associate. So judging by the name on the headstone, my guess is that Nietzsche was the real original Walder that got changed to Walden. Whoever this NT fellow was, he was not part of the Walder family originally. The last book got that wrong.
And you know, I mean, when you agreed to speak with these people in England who wrote The Last Breath, you knew that Nietzsche was still in his grave.
Not taken to an island somewhere like yours.
No, Nietzsche originally, basically the timeline of Nietzsche was that he was buried over there and was brought over here in the early 1800s.
We found his gravestone north of Arkham.
So that would have been his uprooted place, and that's where he was.
Okay. We found his grave empty.
You found his grave empty.
It was empty.
And I show him the etching.
Interesting.
Well, it's not empty now. There's someone in it.
There's two people in
it. Well, that's interesting. See, 3 soldiers. You mentioned a lot. It's got a lot of history behind it. Basically, Cole's notes is 3 soldiers, Edwin, NT, and Nietzsche. So the story says Nietzsche became mad with grief after the passing of Edwin. Now, Edwin, Kipling, proud soldier, strong guy, very religious, one of the 3s that returned from the war after ravaged the lands, blah, 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 blah. Mighty swordsmith, fighter. Nietzsche was the one who craved power. So when Edwin died, Nietzsche, so the story goes, mad with grief, turns to the dark forces beyond our realm. The tale is that the spirit of Nietzsche lingered well after Nietzsche's own death. And, you know, whatever might have happened, my guess is there was this account of this power-hungry tyrant, which was Nietzsche, that once he passed away, whatever powers he had in this world still lingered with the body. I don't know how much you guys have looked into this, but typically when someone of great power passes away, the power doesn't just disappear, it lingers. So if someone dug up Nietzsche's body,
perhaps Anna's father?
Well, someone's trying to access a great deal of power.
So what about Enty? What can you tell us about him? Because he was stolen from the Smithsonian many years ago.
Were they looking for the power and they just mixed up one of the 3?
Well, see, that's the piece that doesn't really make sense. Okay, so Nietzsche's a Walder. I'm sure about this. Enty, I'm not so convinced. There's no record of him up until his death, and even his death is a mystery base. You can see it in his book. It's just they didn't know when he died. So all of a sudden, out of the blue, Nietzsche has a brother. I don't buy it. I think someone probably changed Enty's name later to try to get him over here. Why, I don't know. My guess is that they wanted the family of Walder to bring Nietzsche and Enty, but they didn't buy it. They just brought Nietzsche over, and the Smithsonian must have taken up the slack and picked up Enty. But he was stolen?
Yeah, we've got this article, and I show him the article.
So he reads the article and kind of strokes his little mustache. So Enty was taken from the Smithsonian, but then returned.
Yeah, that's as much as we know about it.
So why the hell would someone take a body and then return it?
Maybe to get something off of it. To get, I don't know, DNA? What's DNA? I don't know. It's the 1920s.
Look, here's my thoughts. Everything points to this Nietzsche fellow being bad. I don't get how Enty fits into it, but maybe
there were the 3 of them.
Yeah, but Edwin's body is still where it lies.
And that seems like the piece that doesn't fit to me.
Well, the power only follows bad guy, and everything points to Nietzsche being the bad guy. My guess is this girl that you're after found his body and a way to stop him. That, or she pieced it together in her diary and got stopped. Or, who knows, maybe she got it wrong, but whatever she has been alluding to, this goat, this black goat that's following you, it must still be coming. I mean, have you looked at the sky?
Yeah, and we've seen the goat.
Now, here's another stretch and just something we can look into. Is there any chance that any of us are related to any of these guys?
You know, it's not impossible. Kipling, there's very little known about him. With Nietzsche, it's more probable. His family was huge. Anti, there's nothing known about him, so I can't even say.
So the why are they linked together, the three soldiers?
Well, again, it was an old wives' tale. 3 soldiers, one of great promise and religious following, one who was skilled, and he was always the smart one. And then Nietzsche was the power-hungry one. It was just an old tale that was translated down year after year, like I said, Broken Telephone. Why it means something, I don't know. But you've seen it multiple times now, so clearly there's some sort of connection to this.
Mm-hmm.
So we have one body that's gone missing, one in a Smithsonian, and the other one that's still is elsewhere completely?
Well, as far as I know, Irwin is still buried where he was left.
And where's that?
Over in the UK.
England.
Yeah.
Durhamsford or something.
Yeah.
Well, I'm at a loss then. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, what are the connections? What are we?
Well, to me, everything leads back to this Nietzsche character. Book says bad guy, body goes missing, bad things happen. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about everything you've seen so far, but to me, you want to see this end. You find the diary, or you find the girl, and most importantly, you find the body of Nietzsche. You burn his bones till they're black, and hopefully whatever evil was brought here will end.
Do we know where he resided? Where
Well,
he
Nietzsche.
lived life?
Sorry?
When he was alive?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if maybe if he's still there, if he's going back to what he knows.
Well, if this guy's up and kicking, I'd be surprised. If anything, he's a pile of bones in a bag somewhere.
So my question is, who stole
that pile of bag of bones?
Anna.
No, you think Anna stole the body?
Her or the father?
Maybe the father. What about this symbol? I ask him about the symbol with the black goat. Do you recognize this?
Okay, so you show him the symbol, and he kind of looks up very quickly at you. Where did you get this?
We've seen it in a few places. This Roland that we told you about, he was blackmailed with a letter with this symbol on it. Man that killed Roland and tried to kill us had a tattoo with this symbol on it. And this Anna, who we're trying to find, her diary had this symbol in it as well.
He quickly stands up and he walks over to a large tome on the shelf and pulls it off and slaps it down on the desk. Starts pouring through pages. This sigil is rare. I'm talking extremely rare. Like one of 2 in the world. And he flips it open and he points to the sigil written on the page. It belongs to a cult, and not just any cult. We're talking a very dangerous and very powerful cult. And in big, thick text above, it says the cult of the black goat. These symbols, when embroidered on a body, and they can be used many times, when embroidered on a body, they're only symbolic of 2. There is the apprentice and his master. We're talking ageless shit. We're talking about people who can be hundreds of years old sometimes.
Jesus.
At least that's what it says.
Well, so Edward Mason, the man who killed Roland, he had this tattoo on him. Would that make him the apprentice?
Well, typically the apprentice is until he becomes the master. And again, you can see this written at the page before him. It is in a different language, but he follows it along with his finger. The apprentice, until he becomes a master, does not will age like any other normal man. It's only with the passing of the master that the ages will be inherited. So, yeah, I would guess that your friend Edward was probably an apprentice.
Hey, Henry.
Yeah.
You still got that coin?
Yeah, I do. I pull it out of my pocket. What do you make of this? This was also found on Edward's body.
He kind of looks at it and turns it in his hand. I can honestly say I have never seen this, and I don't even know where to begin looking. I can take a look at the books, but it's not off the top of my head.
Do you think it has significance if it was found on someone who could either be the master or the apprentice?
Hold on, what's that, Jared?
Just wondering if we can, like, is that coin from a country? Can we identify that?
All it is on the coin is a bunch of what looks to be squiggly lines. And I can show you. Blam!
And it doesn't make sense to me at all. Edward gave this to you, right?
Yeah. I think, yeah. Okay, why would Edward have us go down into... It's not like he lured us there. Did he turn on us because he was afraid we were going to find something? Or did he turn on us because he had intention for us to get there first?
He wanted us there. The way he ran down those stairs, jumped the second step.
Yeah, that's true. Well, maybe he was hoping we'd fall and he could take advantage of that.
No, you said that Roland got a letter with this symbol on the piece of paper.
And if there's only two, it had to be Edward.
What it sounds like to me is, yeah, that guy took you there specifically.
But he was working for someone else.
Well, these guys rarely are independent of each other. Yeah,
right.
These guys are pretty much... It's not so much as a you do what I say, it's a symbiotic relationship where the two almost act as one for the most part. They might have been... And that's the thing. I mean, this other guy could be... This master could be right under your nose. For all you know, especially if he's ageless, you don't know how long he's been, you don't know how old he looks.
Mr. Ackerman, do you have any tattoos?
And he kind of pulls up his legs and shows you his arms, like, for fuck's sake, guys, come on.
Jared, do you have any tattoos? Jared?
No, I do not.
Show me.
Do you want him to get naked right now?
I don't know. A sign of faith. And I start showing my wrists and my ankles.
Is he actually getting naked?
Frank?
Hell, no, I don't have any tattoos.
Show me.
No, I'm not going to show you.
Why
because
wouldn't
this
you?
is totally unrelated. This doesn't matter.
Yeah, that sounds...
If you're talking
wouldn't you
about
show me?
faith, Henry, then you need to start acting on faith. How long have you guys been working together? All
I
I'm
worked
saying is...
with Edward long enough that he nearly killed me.
What I'm wondering is why the hell did he throw you his coin?
Way to change the subject, Frank. Do you have any tattoos?
No. I'm wondering why he did that, and it's not about you. But why did he throw
I
it to
pulled
you?
a gun out on Frank. Frank. Simple question. Do you have any tattoos?
I don't have any tattoos. Now put that damn gun away.
Show me.
You show me.
I did. I show him my wrist. Show my other wrist. Show my ankles.
Yeah, but you could be hiding it anywhere if you do have it. And this is ridiculous. We're working together, Henry.
So was Edward.
Even if I did show you my wrists and my ankles, I could be hiding it on my... It could be a tramp stamp. I could have a tramp stamp of this thing right above my ass. All right, but I'm not showing you that, and you don't want to see that, frankly.
Show me your ankles and your wrists. That's all I ask.
I'd do it.
Is
So
there anything
what the
there?
hell's gotten into you? Come on, we're working together here.
If you guys can't even trust yourselves. And
Well,
you can see
listen,
Ackerman, and you can see Ackerman is kind of utterly disappointed in Henry, and walks away.
Why would Ackerman be disappointed in me? I pulled a gun on him. What does he expect from me?
Yeah, I'm disappointed in you. Okay.
And I also start to kind of cower in the corner because I don't like what's going on between the two.
This brute
Why would
attitude
you
is not going to
withhold
solve
that?
anything.
Why can't you be open and honest, Frank? It's just drawing suspicion to yourself. All I asked was a simple request, and you refused to do it.
Enough.
I don't know why this had to be difficult.
Enough. You're missing the picture. What are you doing? You don't trust him? Well, who fucking cares? No one trusts anybody. Look, you have
Mr.
something
Ackerman,
coming.
my apologies.
You have something coming
Mr.
into
Ackerman,
this
my
world
apologies.
that
You
does
were
not
there
give a
in
shit
the cellar
about what your little
Edward pulled a
disagreements
gun
are.
on us, Mr.
There is
Ackerman.
something going on that is bigger than all of us.
Sit down and shut up.
Henry,
You
watch
were
your
there
tone.
when Edward
Henry-
pulled a gun on me and nearly killed me. He shot me. I nearly died.
Ackerman walks out of the room to the front. And he
Henry,
goes
what
to-
the hell has gotten into you?
And you can hear him unlocking the door.
Have you seen outside? Have you seen the sky? There's a little girl out there who's also looking at the same sky. This blood moon, probably scared out of her mind. And you won't
Yeah.
even show me your wrist because you're
And-
too proud.
And the one man who's trying to help us, you've just chased him out of the room. Not because I'm too proud. Not because I'm too proud. Is that we have to work together. And it's the fact that you won't trust me.
I'm the one. Yeah, whatever. Whatever, Frank. I go and stand in the corner.
Yeah.
As I'm cowering in the corner, I'm also just going to start sketching them because
In an angry pose.
how I'm dealing it.
Listen,
I take a look at the book. And I start flipping through to see if there's anything about initiation rites. How to become the next apprentice.
Yeah, so you see that, but unfortunately it's all in a different language.
What kind of language?
It looks like maybe... No, it's something that you can't read. It's not... Well, because it wouldn't make a difference if you rolled for it. That's why I'm saying that, because it's not a language that you're familiar with, let alone that you'd be able to read.
日本人少しできます。
What? What did you say? I know it's English.
Just a little Japanese.
Oh.
I walk over to Frank and I say, Frank, this whole thing's got me on edge, and I don't know who to trust anymore. I don't know what's going on. Sorry I acted the way I did, but I need to know.
Henry, I swear on my own life and my wife's life that I do not have any tattoos. And I sure as hell hope that you don't either. But I'm not going to ask you to strip naked. We've been through too much for me to see you naked.
I think all the more reason because of how much we've been through.
That's true, actually. Yeah, get naked.
Yeah, why not? Let's have a party.
But we've made good headway.
Is it hot in here, or was it just me?
We've made really good headway, and I hope that we haven't angered Ackerman to the point that he won't help us anymore. Because
Obviously, I have. I'll be outside waiting for you. Let me go sit outside. Let me know when you're ready.
So you walk out from the back room, and you see Ackerman sitting at the front desk just leafing through a book, and you walk past him outside.
so I go to speak to Ackerman.
Okay. And he kind of just keeps his eyes down on his book, and he kind of just softly shakes his head.
I'm sorry about that.
It's
To be
not your
honest,
fault.
we're all a bit on edge. I don't know who to trust. Having someone that close to you trust with your life to turn and try to kill you is well, it can shake a man.
I understand. And he kind of flips the page and he says, "The world has no chance with a person like that." And he shuts the book and he stands up and he walks to the back. And you can hear him as he's walking and he says, "I'll keep looking, and if I find anything, I'll give you a call. Do you have a number?"
I give him my house number.
Okay.
Hopefully we're there. And there's one more thing I wanted to ask you, but it seems to have slipped my mind.
Do you validate?
We're double parked out there. Is that it?
Yeah, no. Never mind, that's not covered to me.
Okay, so as you and Jarrett step out to the hot night, you see Henry standing there leaning against the side of the building, smoking the marijuana cigarette.
That's right.
Man, this fucking sky! All right.
Well, where to now, fellas?
And as you contemplate, the words of Ackerman echo through your head. Find the diary, find the girl, find the body, find a way to stop whatever the hell's coming.
Ah, those echoes that I had.
Obviously, we need to go to, our next lead was to go to Arkham Asylum and talk to Anna.
Might be. Well, yes, the other thing was the library, but the only reason I was going to suggest the library was so that we could read the original resting place of J.D. Ackerman, but we've already found that. So,
well, there was another place you did want to see.
There was another place we wanted.
Yeah, there was Dr. Henry Armitage with the dagger.
No, there was another one you wanted to see too. That
There
you wanted
was-
to call.
We wanted to call the Smithsonian.
You don't have to, but you did want to.
Well, we might as well learn a bit about N.T. Wilder, learn about that disappearance. Wouldn't cost us much.
No, just a nickel. So there is actually a phone booth just around the corner.
You got a nickel there, Frank?
Do I got a nickel?
I got $1 million!
Then I pull out my wallet. It's full of $100 bills. That's all.
I don't have a nickel.
And you get mugged.
No, I put the nickel in and I make the call. I just type in 1-800-Smithsonian. Yeah.
Well, you talk to the operator. Actually,
That's too many numbers.
We didn't have phone booths back then, but we're going to say for argument that you did. Or that you went back into Ackerman. Either way, you did get a hold of the Smithsonian, which is in Washington, and after a long wait of being connected, you speak to someone. And, well, rather than act the whole thing, what questions would you want to ask them?
For the Smithsonian, I would like to know what they can tell us about N.T. Wilder.
Says those. Are you talking about the article?
I am, from many years ago.
It's many years ago. So I will happily take a look at it. Right now I have some things on my desk. I'm going to have to pull the box to storage. Do you have a number I can call you back at?
Yes. You can call me back at my house number.
555.
Do you know anything personally about N.T. Wilder?
Sir, it was 30 years ago.
No, not about the heist.
Oh.
Just about him in general.
No, I don't know anything about him. We have over 3,000 exhibits here. That's one piece of skeletal remains.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time, and yes, I would love to hear from you once you
Shut up, I hate you. So he says that he will go look through the records, and he will contact you as soon as he has some information for you.
All right. Well, yeah. Just thinking, we got to hire a receptionist.
Sweetheart, can you run over and answer the phone?
Yeah, she's dead.
Hey, Dale.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. So off to the sanitarium?
Off to the sanitarium.
It's all good.
And I hang up the phone. I hang up the phone angrily. I say, what a fucking idiot.
It's not his fault. Don't blame him.
Works at the fucking Smithsonian and doesn't know something about his own.
It is a huge
exhibit.
museum. Do you know what? His wife just left him. Okay?
Yeah, but
wife just left
he
him.
didn't tell me that. He didn't tell me that.
You didn't ask.
Did your wife just leave you? Because you don't know fucking shit.
You know what? But maybe other people got things going on. These are real people, okay? You can't just... no, I can't even start.
These
Forget
aren't just people in your head
So
that you're
rude.
making up on the spot.
You could be a farmer. You know, they don't know anything.
it. Be ignorant.
They're not going to know anything.
In the center of this sprawling city, surrounded by a vast sea of houses that dot the landscape, sits Arkham Sanitarium. The sanitarium sits atop a long set of stone steps, and as you arrive, you begin your ascent to the top. As you walk, you glance around the vacant field on either side of the large building. In the distance, through the dark and crimson moonlight, you see a home, probably home to some of the people who work here. A few buildings, most likely, you know, a shed and things of that nature. And slowly, you climb the steps toward the top, towards the sanitarium. As you place your foot on the stone steps about halfway up to the top, you look up to see a black figure. I won't do it again, don't worry. Boom. Covered in hair, snarling, with large horns sticking out the top of its head. It stands below a light which illuminates your path, and for the first time, it remains long enough for you to see it in all of its horror. Just like the drawing in Anna's diary, the creature stands, ready to pounce, spittle dripping from its open maw, eyes red as fire and yet smoky and distant they stare at you. And after a long beat, it throws its head back and makes a horrid screech into the sky. It pierces you to the core as the three of you stop frozen. And in a blink of an eye, it vanishes. This is now the third or fourth time you've seen the creature, and this time has been the closest yet, aside from the scare last time, of course. You each begin to breathe again, not needing to roll sanely, because you've seen it enough.
Old news.
And you continue up the steps. The building lights are on, and you can see the white walls of the hallways within as you approach. And
Jarrett,
Yes, sir.
you think that it's leading us? Every time we take steps closer to Anna, it appears.
I think that's a very good observation, sir. I really do.
Or is it trying to stop us?
You think it's trying to scare us off of that path?
Maybe. Who's to say it's benevolent or not benevolent?
Now, I probably can't do it because I soil myself a little every time we see this thing. But is it possible one of you guys could, like, just shout out Nietzsche next time? And see if we can get its attention.
Interesting theory. Yeah, that's worth a shot. I mean, fuck, I think I'm crazy enough to do it.
literally, you're at 47 sanity.
It's true.
So you reach the top of the steps, and stepping inside, you are in a whitewash front hall. Again, the night sky outside makes it seem like it's midnight, and yet it's probably 10 in the morning. So you step inside, and you walk towards an empty desk in the large white hall. On either side of the white desk are large gated doors leading to two hallways that you would assume lead to the patient's room and doctor's quarters and things of that nature, and the remainder of the facility. And as you kind of stand at the front desk for a moment, a door opens from the side, labeled washroom, and a doctor walks out. And he, confused, walks over to you and kindly greets you. Oh, hello. How can I be of assistance?
We're wondering.
We could visit someone.
Sorry?
We'd like to visit someone.
Oh, okay. Well, so as he stands there in front of you, his name tag reads Dr. Hardy. And he's a thin, wiry older man with a smile and a warm handshake, but he looks immeasurably tired. and his gray hair and deep lines on his face are only accentuated by the insanely dark circles beneath his eyes. Here, let's go to my office. We can talk there. You wanted to visit someone? He says as he walks before you.
Yeah, there's someone we have some, questions for, and we thought maybe we could ask her. I don't know if that's too forward, but why not? Why not give it a try?
So he pulls a set of keys on a wire string from his belt, unlocks the metal gate that's locking the two hallways, and he opens it up and gestures you in, and you continue down the hall as he's kind of contemplating what you said. Well, I don't know, there's usually a few steps that need to be taken before you can do that. Oh, don't mind that. And as you're walking by, either side of the tight hallway are doors to patients' rooms. Small glass windows allow you to look in, and you see various people rocking in their spots, sitting on their beds, and some just leaning against the wall. Some sitting peacefully at their desks, drawing with crayons and things like that.
How long have you worked here?
God, 15 years now, probably, he says as he continues to walk. The hallway is very tight, and you need to walk single file. Who's walking at the end?
That would probably be me.
Jarrett, as you pass one of the cell doors, you hear a very small sound, and you stop to look down, and a small slip of paper is slid out from underneath the door.
Okay. What is there a number on the door?
Yes.
A 1A3 or anything like that?
Yeah, it says 108.
Okay. So I quickly take note of that, and I take a look inside first in the window.
So you lean into the window, and immediately a face pops up. It's an older man with a shaved head, and his lips look as though they've been gnawed off. And through a grin, he says, Bring that to the cell next to me.
Okay, and I yes, sir. And I bend down and I pick it up and I look at it. How far away are these guys? Because did they notice me or they just keep walking?
Roll.
Because I don't want to let them get too far away.
Yeah, they're getting farther, but Justin is in the conversation with the front guy. So why don't you roll something to see if you actually noticed? Sure.
Well, I would definitely notice. I would extremely notice.
So you do notice Jarrett speaking to someone.
I'm not going to bring attention to it because I don't know exactly how the doctor would react, and I don't want to blow Jarrett's cover just in case he somehow managed to find Anna or something like that. So okay. I'm going to kind of notice that he's doing this and keep pushing forward with the other guys, keeping conversation.
So, Jarrett, you pick up the slip of paper and do you...
But if I see we're going to make a corner or something like that, I'm going to, keep an eye on Jarrett, make sure he doesn't get lost in here or something.
Okay. So, Jarrett,
I read it. Yeah, absolutely.
So, as you go to open it, he says, Don't open it! Don't read it. Just give it to the guy next to me.
Yes, sir. And so once I get out of sight of the window, I read it.
Okay. So you walk over to the door he wants you to slide it over, and you open the piece of paper, and it's an illegible handwriting. It might be a language, but it more likely than not just seems like random gibberish.
All right. So very quickly. Do the best I can is sketch that note in my book.
Sure. So
and then I'll pass it over to the next guy.
Yeah, you very hastily draw it, and as you fold the note back up, you go to bend down to put it in front of the door, and you do notice that the man receiving the note is just staring at you.
Yeah, that's not awkward.
And you
Hello,
slide it
sir.
under.
This is from a man next door. Would you like this?
And he silently bends down, and the man within is huge. He's hulking and massive, and he stares at you with a large furrowed brow, and bends down and picks it up, and stares at you, and he kind of just backs up towards the back of his cell, as he, of course, saw you read it.
And then I'm gonna run.
Okay. So you run up and you overhear the end of the conversation, of which Dr. Hardy is telling you, 15 years. Yeah, started here as a bit of a helper to Dr. Norrell, and now I'm here. So he opens the door, and you can see his office is a bit in shambles, and he gestures for you guys to take a seat, and he walks behind his desk, and he leans back and drips something into his eyes, and he sits down at his desk and kind of puts a stack of paperwork over and says, "Okay, sorry, what did you need?"
As I was saying, there's a patient of yours, I believe, that we're kind of friends with Beatrice. I don't know if you know that name, but she has a patient, a family member here, and she's curious about some family history, and perhaps we could find it out. It's disturbing for her to speak directly with her, so we're kind of here on her behalf.
Okay, sorry, you're looking for family history on a Beatrice?
No, actually, that's of the family member, but it's actually Katowski.
Nope. Anna Stanzik.
Stanzik.
Oh, sorry, Stanzik.
Stanzik, Anna Stanzik, yeah. Okay, so you want to find out about her.
Oh, well, we have some questions. Well, we could find out about her. If first of all, it would be even appropriate to ask her some questions.
Okay. Roll a persuade.
And as he's doing this, I'm going to rip that piece of paper out of my sketchbook and just like hand it to the doctor. By the way, does this mean anything to you?
And he kind of looks at it and says, "No, should it?"
Oh, just the man in 108 asked me to give it to the man in 109.
Oh, did you do it?
Yes, sir.
All right. And he folds it and just puts it in his desk. So did you persuade him?
I did.
Okay, but just a pass.
That's right.
So he kind of looks you guys over. Oh man. Look, guys, you can't just go in and speak to people. If you do, Stanzik, I do know the name, Anna Stanzik. She's state, so you would need approval from Dr. Norrell, written approval from him. But look, if you're just looking to answer a few questions, I can grab her file and I can read it to you. I can't let you have it, but I can read you any questions.
Yeah, that might be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, all right.
And where would we find Dr. Norrell, just in case?
Oh, he's sick. He actually lived. You probably passed on your way up. There's a house on the lot. He lives there with his wife.
The house number, sir?
He kind of just looks at you. It's the only one. It's just one house. It's his. Entire lot. One.
Yeah, but what's the number? But
the number's 1. So he kind of says, all right, so yeah, I'll let you look at the file. Just give me a second. And he stands up, and behind him on a corkboard you see a set of keys hanging, and he picks up one particularly shiny one, walks out and says, the records room is just next door, give me a second. And he walks out into the hall and disappears.
So, I lean over, are we just going to play the straight hand, guys, or are we going to try something here?
Well, he's probably going to be able to tell us more than Anna herself.
I think we want to talk to Anna. I think we need to talk to Anna. And I don't think the red tape is going to allow us to do that. He looks pretty tired. We could maybe find a way to make him fall asleep. How about some chamomile tea?
All right, what about those keys there on the... Do we have any way of knowing what room Anna's in?
Yeah, I'm going
Is there a room directory?
Jerry, go make sure he's not coming back anytime soon. Go watch the door for us.
Yes, sir.
And then I'm going to look at...
So you pop out the hall and you keep a look, and on either side you see long, well-lit white halls. That's it. Henry?
I'm going to just look on the desk to see if there's any directory or any information about patients and what rooms they're in.
Okay, give me a spot hidden.
They hide the rooms of their patients?
It was successful.
Well, they don't hide them, but they don't have, like, George Ramirez, room 1, Sarah Ramirez, room 2. That's right, family members. It's that. Sorry, did you succeed or no?
I did succeed.
Okay, so you do take a look over his desk real quick, but you do not find anything that would signify a long list of the names that has her name on it, unfortunately. And just then, Jarrett, you do see him pop out from a room with a box in his, or sorry, with a file under his arm, and he walks back down towards you.
Yeah, so I wave him, let him know. Hey,
yeah.
he's coming back.
Oh, you're right.
You waved him. So I meant more
So he
towards
kind of
it,
walks
you
back
know.
in, and
I'm back where I'm supposed to be.
yeah, and he sits down and he opens his file. Okay. All right. What questions do you have? I can see if I can answer them.
Maybe a little bit about her psychosis, exactly what's going on with her. I can bring that back. Has she made any improvements?
No, it doesn't look like it. He says, basically, she was admitted here almost 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 28. Dreams, she believes the dreams are reality. She believes that something is following her, sputterings about a black goat. She believes, yeah, something about...
Any conversation about... Miss Beatrice actually mentioned something about her talking about bones, and that was one thing that kept giving her nightmares about dead bodies and such. Is
So
she
he
still having
scans.
those dreams?
So he scans the documents. No, nothing really about bones. Nothing that jumps out of the page, at least, about bones. Basically, it looks like she was admitted here. She would not, for the life of her, let go of her diary. Apparently her diary was filled with ideas about, I don't know, what haunted her. And we ended up giving her a replacement diary, and after she destroyed her own. And other than that, that was about
That
it.
diary of hers.
What's that?
Do you have anything left of that diary?
The one she destroyed?
Yeah.
No. Basically, it says here, when she came, again, she clung to this diary, held to it like it for her dear life, and the doctors felt that it was making her all the more... actually, it was Dr. Norrell, too, that spoke to her and treated her back then. I guess back when he was a resident.
Maybe our
But
question should be directed towards him.
oh, maybe he might be able to help. Like I said, he's just home with a cold, the lazy bastard. 2 days now, leaving me to do the whole thing. Didn't get a wink last night. Actually, I haven't got a wink in a while. Yeah, no, Norrell talked to her, said that the diary was causing most of her psychosis, so they removed the diary. She freaked out. She started using one of ours provided diary, didn't have all the history. She seemed to be adjusting fairly well. They gave her back her diary, and she destroyed it almost immediately. And since then, she's been pretty catatonic, apparently.
Is there any way we could see her just to make sure that we can, just so that we can go back to Miss Beatrice and say that she looks like...
Honestly, look, I'm not supposed to be reading patients' files for you. I'm doing a favor because, honestly, you guys don't seem like bad guys, but I'm not going to let you walk into a room and mess up some poor girl.
We do appreciate it, Dr. Hardy. We would do our best not to mess her up, but has she had any visitors in her 28-year stay here?
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you for coming. No, she did. She had one set of visitors, only once, and it was 9 years ago, and it was the Katowskis. That's the name you originally asked for, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mixed those up. I'm sorry. Family friend. Yeah, I mixed up names.
No, they came about 9 years ago, spoke to her. That is it, and he shuts the file.
And when did she destroy her diary?
He opens the file. 1983. Or, sorry, 1893.
1893.
Look, I haven't slept in a long time.
I can tell you're tired.
Look, I will happily show you guys to her room. All I need is just go bother Dr. Norrell, tell me his lazy ass out of bed, tell me to just sign a piece of paper, and then I'll have you, you can speak to her, it's fine.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much for your time, Dr. Hardy.
No, of course. And he stands up and shakes your hands, and you can see him with the folder in his arms. I'm going to return this.
Okay, so he's going to show us to her room, she said? He said?
No, once we got the form.
Only once you get someone to sign.
Let's get the form.
Okay, on our way out, because we can find our own way, I'm going to keep an eye out for Dr. Laurel's office. Norrell, and or a mail room or something like that I can...
He's actually going to walk you out.
Oh, is he?
We can find our own way out. No.
Well, I figured it was a straight hallway.
Yes, but he's going to make sure you do, because it's a locked door behind the gate.
Okay.
It can be held open. You can see it can be kicked, but he literally walks you out, shuts the door behind, and says, "Let me know if anything changes."
So, I don't know. I've got a bad feeling about Norrell.
Yeah, we need to find his handwriting just in case we need to forge a note. But let's go see what we can do to talk to him.
All right.
Perfect.
So we make our way to the house.
Perfect. And you pass the landmines in the field and roll for luck. No, you reach the small home that is currently occupied by Dr. Norrell and his parent wife. It is
like a atypical like spike pit for most other role-playing games.
Ah!
Who put this here? How did they know we were role-playing?
So the house looks to be quite old. It looks like it is one that is occupied by the various chief doctors that work in Arkham Sanitarium. And you approach the front door, and it's beautiful in its simplicity, and you give a nice knock. Now remember, although it looks like midnight, it's 10 in the morning for everybody else.
Okay.
And after a short beat, you hear nothing.
So Chris Lawrence brought something to attention. Did we get all the pages? Remember how they had the rips at the bottom and rips on the top, the poem?
Yeah, you solved all those. That was just a combination to her lock chest.
Okay.
But you can have it if you want.
No, I was just making sure it was all there.
No, you can have it if
I don't want it.
What
it
are you
is
burning
also
there,
the
Henry?
story of the three soldiers.
It is fun.
I give a knowing look to Henry and knock again.
He doesn't hear your tongue clicks.
Oh,
My question is, maybe the other doctor just wanted us out. Bluffed us out.
You wait, and again, you hear no answer.
We checked the door. Is it locked?
It is locked.
Not for long.
Maybe there's a back door.
Let me try picking the lock first.
Okay, you want to pick the lock before we check if there's an open back door?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. And I look for anybody coming.
Pretty close to an extreme success.
Perfect. And luckily, because you are still in dark, no one can see. So no, with a solid click, it opens, and because it was extreme, you can tell that you opened it without damaging anything, and you could easily lock it behind you.
I say, look at that, Frank. You left the door open. I open the door. Keep going.
So you do, and slowly you open the door to a darkened hallway.
Dr. Laurel.
Norrell.
I have an accent. I'm sorry. My accent. Dr. Norrell.
And you can do a listen roll.
Well, do I hear anything back?
Do a listen roll.
Yes. Yeah. Please help me.
He's standing right next to you, screaming.
Yeah, I hear. If there's anything to hear, I'll hear it.
Okay. No, you don't.
Looks like no one's home. Maybe he's lying. Maybe they had a little holiday.
All right, so looking around in the front entrance, what do we see?
I close the door behind us and lock it, by the way.
Okay. Then you die. The floor drops out and spikes.
This is just like
So,
our D&D adventure.
for sake of time and logic, I'm going to say that you guys check the house, which would be natural. I'm not going to make you check every single place, and I'm not going to make you roll spot hiddens for every single place. What I'm going to say is you spend a fair amount of time searching. So starting with the upwards floor, you find a very nice bedroom where the doctor and presumably his wife stay. The bed is relatively messy. Other than that, you find a bathroom. Nothing seems to be recently used. You check a few drawers, and there's nothing really of any substance besides an old name tag of Dr. Norrell, probably when he was a resident. You continue on to the main floor.
Does the name tag have a signature on it?
It does not. Okay. You continue on to the main floor. You check the kitchen, the back door, which is securely locked, even more so than the front door. The chain.
See, Frank?
And on the main floor, you find absolutely nothing until you come to the steps leading down to the basement. Basements are bad, guys.
Yeah, we've had a lot of luck with basements so far. In the cellar?
I'm not scared anymore.
I'm not scared anymore. So you decide to each head down as, okay, who cares, right?
Sure. We don't want to live.
So finally, he's got his pen light.
Hey, you got one too. I'm the only one without one.
It is literally a pen light, too. It's great.
Woo! So you head down and you flick on the lights to the basement.
You're just holding up a pen, Chris?
Yeah.
Well, he's got light behind him. He doesn't need it. So, the three of you head down the wooden steps to the basement, and as you touch the cobblestone floor, a chill creeps up your spine, and your pen lights flash along a sickening image. Jarrett, following up the rear, absent-mindedly pulls the light and fills the basement with light. And what you see is sickening. You see the good doctor, found spiked to a wall, skinned except for his head. And for a moment, your eyes focus, and you can tell through the dry, caked blood that has poured from his mouth, his tongue has been ripped off and nailed to his forehead. His wife is also against the wall, spiked and twisted in a disgusting display. Immediately, you all roll sanity.
Even though I had a bad feeling?
Yeah. Even what's more, based on the dried blood, caked to the walls and the floor, you can tell that it's been here for days. Everyone passing gets 1 off their sanity. Everyone failing is 1d6.
Well, we were all prepared.
Not even slightly. So, yeah, you see the doctor's lifeless eyes reflect the lights in your pens as he kind of just stares at the cold cellar floor.
Is he staring at anything particular?
Nope.
Do they have any tattoos?
You
Look at the flaps of skin. Ugh.
disgustingly approach and fold their flaps of skin as they are completely naked, and you do not find anything.
What are they pegged to the wall with?
It looks like railroad spikes.
Okay. Well, I know it's gross, guys, but let's take a look around, see if we can find any indication of what happened here.
Okay, so give me a spot hidden.
Everybody, or did you just hand it?
It's going to be a group, so one person can do it.
Oh, I don't want to.
You want me to do it?
Find it. You find it.
Hard success.
Nice.
Okay, so you're looking around the room, and you kind of very disgustingly look between the bodies. And you do find that the woman was killed after the man, probably by some hours. And they have been dead for days. But other than that, their bodies are completely stripped. Their clothes are piled in the corner. The man was wearing his doctor's uniform. It was just taken off him. The buttons were torn off of him before he was spiked to the wall. And it wouldn't have taken too much force to spike him to the wall. Just time. And other than that, you do not see anything much.
So, a
Somebody
man
doesn't
could
want
have
us to see Anna.
Well, I'm gonna sketch this.
Dude, put that fucking book away.
I'm gonna go upstairs and see if I can find any mail or any letters with his handwriting.
Okay. So yeah, head upstairs. You head upstairs, and yeah, I mean he's got an office, and it wouldn't be tough to find his handwriting. And sure enough, after a short search, you can find it.
Would it be hard to forge? Is it a tricky handwriting?
It would require a roll, and I would even let you roll sleight of hand because while it is not sleight of hand, it is dexterity that requires it.
Or could I do it with art?
Or art. Actually, both of those would be very good.
Yeah. What's your art at? Well, could we not both try and compare which one's best?
Sure.
So I bring the letter down to Jared. I say, Jared, like, maybe we can write our own note. We need to see Anna. Someone doesn't want us to see her, and I think we should try everything we can to see her.
Okay,
So Jared
well,
agrees and gives his roll.
yeah, well, I failed, but I could probably do it if I did it with luck.
And are you going to roll for sleight of hand, Henry?
Yeah.
This year? Okay. 16.
Yeah, so that's good.
Oh
It's,
yeah, definitely a success.
Hard success.
Okay, so Jarrett and Henry, you guys sit shoulder to shoulder and both try to copy. And Henry, you do it with a level of success that
It's possible.
you both feel very confident would be completely believable.
Now the question is, what am I going to write? And I propose the question to you guys. Say, I think I can do it. What do you guys want me to say? What should I say? I hereby give permission to these three gentlemen to visit my patient Anna. You know what I mean? Stanson?
Kalowski.
Katowski?
Anna Stanzik.
Beatrice Katowski? Walden?
Yeah, I hereby give them permission to speak with her. I don't know, guys. These are professionals who are expected to come to work soon. If we
You don't have to give her name.
we don't have to give her name. You're right, but
I did shoot a man's head off with a shotgun, so this is really a lot smaller deal than what I've already done.
it's definitely incriminating, though. I don't know. I kind of feel like this is something we should bring up with the police. We haven't involved the police for this long, and I don't know. Maybe if you can figure something out, then by all means write it. But my main instinct is to go to the police and tell them, because here we are in their house. We've seen the murder. We're going to go back with a forged signature.
Frank, you're really acting strange.
I'm acting strange because I want to go to the police after finding two people nailed to a wall.
We found people brutalized before, and we've never gone to the police.
Not doctors, not officials that are expected to come back to work soon, that will be checked on very soon.
Yeah,
Actually,
we're not going to be here.
In this case, he might actually have a point because the other doctor knows that we came here. So we would be the last ones here.
That's right. And, I mean, Henry, you do have a point that we haven't given our names. So, maybe they won't be able to track us down. But three men wandering around, by our descriptions, I mean...
Now, we could go back and just let them know that we couldn't get in and no one answered the door. But it doesn't get us any closer to talking to Anna.
We need to talk to Anna. We say that we have this note, and we disappear. That's it. What's so funny?
So,
Oh,
Han Ziga saying, Frank, is like, these are not disposable people like the hobos we found.
These are doctors.
Keep throwing hobos at them.
These people have money. Like,
I haven't bribed a hobo since episode 1. Come on, give me a break.
Apparently, you're still the hobo whisperer.
Yeah. I don't know.
what do you, Frank? What else are we gonna do? Tell me another option. Our case is gonna run cold until we speak to Anna.
We don't have much time. We don't have much time, and you know, quite frankly, if we do get the police involved, then we might spend days being interrogated.
So, as you're sitting there discussing, you hear a scream. Ah!
Oh my God, he's still alive.
Coming from outside.
Okay. Thank God.
That would have been really weird sketching them. Now this is
I gotta start again.
Now we're gonna do a
This is supposed to be
dialogue
still
bubble.
life.
Yeah.
Is there
Now we're gonna do a dialogue bubble.
I'm not paying attention. I'm too nervous now.
Or Jared just throw that piece of paper out. He's like, I only do dead bodies.
That's right.
Is someone looking through the window?
No, it came from the street.
All right.
Right.
Well,
So I run up to the
go
window. Yeah.
Go upstairs, yeah, and peek out of like the curtain.
Okay, so Frank, you run up to the top floor, and this building is on the edge of the lot, that is the sanitarium lot, and maybe 50 feet away is the large wrought iron gate, and then the sidewalk, and then the other sidewalk after the road. And what you see is a man screaming as another man is kind of shaking him like this. And the man who's shaking him, you can see him violently twitching in the moonlight.
None of our business.
It's weird though, and we do have to get out of here.
And roll a spot hidden.
Frank.
Me?
Yeah, you're the one checking.
Ah. I shall. And I shall fail. And I shall push.
You? Push
And I
it.
shall push.
Push it.
And I shall succeed.
Woo!
Thank you.
So you adjust your eyes to the darkness as you look across the street, and you see that the man shaking the other man has a distorted, wretched look on his face. He's not even actually looking at him, and he is a police officer. And as you stare at this insane, unexplainable sight, you see another man walking down the street, twitching as he does. And suddenly,
Is he listening to music?
you suddenly realize that a lot of the people walking the street are either walking in circles or twitching as they do. Some of them are just staring up at the red moon.
All right. Forge the note. Forge the note fast.
Okay, I forged the note.
You do the thing. Do it.
I forged the note. And I propose to the group that we don't look at the red moon as best as possible.
Okay.
Because I think it's having an effect on these people.
Perfect. So you forge the note with success.
I don't use our names. I just say let these three gentlemen.
Perfect. Non-specifics are the best when looking for credentials.
Well, it should be enough.
Please let Curly, Larry, and Mo into. All right. So you guys exit the building, and I'm assuming go back to the sanitarium.
Yeah, we go out the back door and we try to sneak our way there as best we can.
Perfect. And as you exit, you hear cries in the darkness, calls far down the street, a woman's scream, a young man. You hear a gunshot fire, and you hear what sounds like echoes of madness throughout the street. Now, they're dying down a bit, and you can see that even the isolated instant that you did see across the street, you see another man walking up and pulling the man apart and shaking the police officer as if trying to shake him out of whatever stupor. But you can tell that there is a seeping feeling that is running through the minds of the people staring at the full moon. And as you head back up the stone steps to the sanitarium, a chill runs up your spine. That crimson moon, it still lingers high in the sky. You check your watch, it's now almost 11, and the sky looks as though it's still midnight. With a quickened pace, you head back to the sanitarium. Somebody roll a spot hidden.
Jared.
I'm done.
Jared.
Working on it.
Work it.
Yeah, I'm going to say that that's almost critical.
Perfect. Okay, so Jared, as the other two take up steps, you stop. And you notice the dim hallway lights of the sanitarium flickering behind the windows of the building as shadows walked past them.
Oh, is everyone free?
And you continue up the stone steps.
Maybe the doctor was looking at the moon himself and let everyone out, or something. Maybe.
So-
What did you do with that note?
What?
What did you do with that note?
Who?
You did this.
Me? What?
Jared did it with the note. It was like that secret message from one person to the next was a way for them to escape.
So, you reach the top steps and you open the front halls of the building, and the once white and bright room is now bathed in darkness and shadows. It looks as though all the lights have been turned off, although deep within the halls you do see flickering lights. And for a moment you stand there. You pull out your flashlights as you can hear the screams echoing through the building, but you notice that both gates are now opened.
Well, I pull my gun out.
Mm-hmm. Maybe this is something we should tell the police.
I make sure it's loaded. Make sure it's loaded.
Okay, fire one at your temple just to make sure.
Yeah, is it?
Check.
So-
Did we ever find out what room Anna was in? We did not. Is that correct?
You did not. However, you
But
do know
we
that it was...
know-
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, but we do know what room the record is kept in. A file.
And you know where the key is, too.
Is it not called Arkham Asylum in Batman? Just to curious.
Yes, that's why I'm trying to go with Arkham Sanitarium, but I keep
Okay.
screwing it up. So, as you stand in the front hall, shadows cast elongated shapes off the bars and doors of the tight hallways that you kind of shine your lights through. Are you guys heading that way?
Well, first I want to lock the front door.
Lock yourselves in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. Lock everybody else out. Because, I mean, as crazy and scary as it is in here, there's a lot more potentially crazy people outside that may want to come in, which...
The outside people, again, while you heard weird sounds and screams, they were dying out quickly. I don't want to give too much the impression that the world's gone to shit just yet. It does seem to be bubbling. Just so you know, you don't feel unsafe walking the streets. You just feel that, you know, getting a large group of people together, such as the police, at this point would be very unwise.
What do you think, Jared? Locked or unlocked?
I'm
Eeny, meeny,
I'm good with locking, actually.
All right. You ready?
Okay. So who's taking the lead?
I'll go first. Jared,
Don't all
you
stand
stay
up
in the
at
middle.
once.
Henry, you stay in the back.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
So Frank, with your flashlight drawn, you head down the darkened hall. And again,
No.
What?
I'm not going to draw my flashlight.
Okay, you cover it up. Better to walk in with no light.
I'm going to try to adjust my eyes to the darkness.
Perfect. Okay, so instead you walk into the darkness of the halls, and far off you see flickering lights around a corner. Slowly your eyes sort of adjust, and as you make your way into the hallways, you notice all the cell doors are open. Every single one.
Well, did we lock the door?
So as you quietly walk past, you can't help but look inside some of them, and some patients remain inside them, sitting still,
Yeah.
watching you as you pass.
Can we close their doors?
Of course.
Will they lock if we close them? Is it like the type of thing that...
No, it seems like someone's gone around and unlocked each and every one.
Well, there's only one person that can do that. Okay.
So you want to close them?
No, well, maybe? I don't know. What do you think?
I think instinct is to close them, but if the doors are open now, I don't want to take that option to leave away from
any interaction. Okay, well, well, yeah, this is going to be really dangerous. This is such a bad idea.
Let's try to make it to his office, and then we have a safe haven for that.
So, as you continue on, you're kind of silently in the darkness trying to signal that
we're just going to
people are still in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
You pass another open cell, and you can see just behind a door there's a man standing 2 feet in front of you, facing the wall, whispering a series of quick little words to himself.
And I pat Jarrett to see if the words make sense from that note that he'd written.
Okay, it looks like a different man. And Jarrett, give me a listen roll.
That is some Pat. Communicated a lot.
Yeah, I'm good, sir. I can hear what he's whispering. Maybe, if it's...
Okay, so it's just gibberish. It doesn't even seem to be the same syllables that were written on that piece of paper, just...
again, even if I was to do an occult roll again, it'd be nothing.
No, it's nothing.
Yeah,
it's just a guy, yeah. I mean, you do pick out words, but they're like, it's okay, don't be mad.
Yeah.
It's okay. Something to do with his childhood, probably.
I can relate. I feel like I should hug him.
You do hear groans and kind of moans as you kind of walk through to kind of echoing down.
So I wouldn't know the rooms that Jarrett.
No, you would not know.
To.
And in fact, Jarrett, you see that you are actually walking up close to the room where you saw the man without lips.
And the giant guy.
And as you slowly pass Jarrett, you do look into that room, and far back against the wall, you can just make out the legs of a man sitting as far back in the shadows as he can. And as you pass, he leans forward, and you see the teeth of the man, and he smiles a twisted, cracked smile at you. And for a second, you think he's going to call out and let everybody know where you are and who you are. But he just lifts a single finger and goes back into the darkness. Thankful that you delivered the note. So you continue moving on, and you approach Dr. Hardy's office. And it is open, slightly.
Okay, so we
just slam it.
Push it.
We're inside!
Yes, very carefully. I creak it open and step inside the dark office.
So you head inside, and you can see that it is even more in shambles. It looks completely tossed. The chairs are knocked over, but because it is a relatively small room, you can see that it looks pretty good. There's no one hiding. And you enter, and I'm assuming you shut the door behind you?
Yes. And we'll lock it.
Chunk. Okay, so you go to lock it. It does have a large glass pane on it with the letterings, now in reverse, Dr. Hardy, but it is a little blurry based on the type it's done with. And yeah, even his desk is actually turned on his side, but it is a large, heavy wooden desk, and you're now standing in his room.
Do you think that we tipped him off to something? Do you think that we tipped him off when we mentioned Anna?
I think he's lost it just the same as anyone else. It's possible. Maybe he's the one who killed the doctors. That's a good point. That was where my mind went first of all. When he had us leave, it almost seemed as if he was trying to get rid of us.
Yeah, it did. Well, I guess it's no matter now.
Perhaps we need to find Anna's room as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So, again, you give me a... Well, I guess you won't need a spot hidden because you know where you're looking, but on the floor is a large cork board with the keys fallen down, and the key he picked up for the records room was one of many hanging on hooks, now sitting in a tattered mess.
Is that key there still? The shiny one?
They all look pretty similar in the dark. You can turn on a light and check.
Well, all the doors are open.
Yeah, maybe not the... Also, it's... Yeah, but not for the records room, necessarily.
Records room is farther down the hall. Could be open.
Why would he open the records room?
To put Anna's file back? I don't know. Well, all right, let's see what we can find. The records room is down the hall where we came from?
It is further, yeah.
Further.
Ah, so that's where he disappeared to. Okay.
And we need the shiny key.
Well, did he bring Anna's file back? Let's see if he left it here.
No, he did. In fact, when he walked you out, he carried the file back to it and then walked you out.
I see. Okay. Damn it. Well, let's look around here, see if we can find anything.
So why don't you give me a spot hidden from the keys on the floor? See if you can decipher which one was the shiny one. Tough to get a shine without shine.
Yeah, like
well, you can use the flashlight. I can cover the window to the front door.
Sure. Okay. So Frank, you walk up.
No, I got a critical success there.
Ooh. Okay. So Mike, you lean over and shine it quickly and immediately pick up the key. Yeah, this is the one. And Frank, you're halfway covering the door when he finds it, and you're like, "Oh, okay, perfect."
Yeah.
And roll a listen.
It's good.
You hear a heavy footstep down the hall towards you.
There's someone coming, guys.
So the desk is large enough to hide behind, should you choose to.
This gives me flashbacks from that video game we played.
Well, roll for hide, everybody.
Or we could push the desk in front of the door.
Yeah, you could do that.
Do you want to do that? I said, do we push the desk in front or do we hide?
Let's push it in front. Three of us hiding behind a desk? Doesn't sound reasonable.
Yeah, so I'm going to push that in front as best we can.
Okay. So you get behind the desk, and with a large squeak, almost like a siren, you drag the desk across the chair. And immediately the thumping becomes louder. And with a shatter of glass, the large pane at your door smashes open. And you see, through the flash of your penlight, the large, lumbering man that you saw earlier and gave the message to. In his right open hand, or in his right closed hand, is a large metal pipe. And blood spots all over his shirt as he starts banging the door open.
All right, I guess should I shoot him? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'm asking.
Pull out your gun and see what he does.
Yeah, I pull out my gun and point at it and says, "Stop!"
Okay,
Stop
so he continues on.
What is the ceiling like? Is it tiled?
The ceiling is drop ceiling, yes.
Is there any way like we can crawl in through the ceiling to get out of this room?
No.
Okay, so this is the only way in and out of this place.
Yes.
All right, so I start shooting.
Okay, so roll your fight.
I don't think it was successful. Because I think that is, where is it? Fighting brawl, handgun. Nope, no good. So first shot, no good.
Okay. So I think with a gun you can fire 2 times more? Is it total 3 times?
Yeah, 3 times, I think.
But each one is a penalty die or something?
Yeah.
Totally should have researched the fighting again before,
That's it.
before this.
Yeah, I miss every time anyways.
Okay, so you fire 3 shots as they echo through the hall.
I am a terrible shot.
And nothing hits.
This isn't one of those ones that always succeed?
No. Shooting? Or... No.
Because it's pretty, like, he's in the door
Oh, you have to do a
frame.
firearms check.
No, you still have to. Yeah, you still have to figure out if you hit.
Couldn't I, like, walk up and just go bang?
Point blank, but then he's moving, and he might hit your hand.
Yeah, and I think no, because then that would be like well, he could, but then he would have the opportunity to fight back too. I think, which is what we'll say. These might be fudgy fight rules, but we'll make them fair. All right, you're firing, Justin.
Yeah, I'm gonna find.
Oh, sorry. What's your dexterity?
Well, what did he do?
Well, you missed 3 times, and you had an attack of opportunity because you fired immediately.
But he didn't react?
No, well, I mean, you just went bang, 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 and he kept going. He seems like almost like a roid-filled rage. There's nothing that's stopping him, and he seems, based on the dots lining his head, it seems like he's had some sort of cranial surgery, and it doesn't seem like he's all there. He's a massive lumbering man, almost like a Batman villain. Arkham Asylum. So his dexterity is 80, so I'm going to go ahead and say he's probably going to attack first after that. So, with his massive strength, he crunches the door to push it inward. And he does not succeed, but he continues kind of pushing the door as he does. And that is his turn. Who's next in dexterity order?
I've got 55. Jarrett?
I'm pretty low. I'm like 25.
I got 40. What's you, Frank?
All right. So I take a step next to Henry and I aim my gun right at his head, and not at Henry's, to the big guy, who I'm picturing is like the big Tonto guy from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yes, but shaved head and much more sinister looking.
Okay, cool. So I shoot him.
Okay, do you hit?
We'll find out. Not that time.
Okay, and I'm going to, because you're point blank, I'm going to.
Oh no, I'm not point. Oh wait, you're allowing me to roll again?
I was going to say I was going to give you a bonus die if you're point blank.
Ah, okay. To the first one.
Yes, but he will get an attack as well. Meaning, like, he'll have the option to fight back. It'll essentially be a melee attack, but you'll be using.
I'm just picturing us like taking the lampshade and putting it on our heads and stuff, so that when he comes in, we just act like that. It's not bright enough to notice us. He just walks out.
I'm not picturing myself being point blank. I don't think Frank would do that.
Okay, so then you're still firing away. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do two disadvantages.
Yes, you get a disadvantage for each additional roll.
So 66, that is a fail. And 96, that is also a fail. So.
Okay, so you fire again 3 times, and they hit the frame of the door. And again, because it's dark and you can barely see anything, it's extra tough to aim.
Oh yeah, and the flash of the gun.
He's continually writhing, now even more filled with rage. And Jarrett?
Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna cow it in the corner.
Okay.
Jarrett,
with my penknife.
You coward! Stop shooting.
Yeah, why don't you just Jarrett? Why don't you give me a roll for sanity? Because you're kind of allowing the situation to get the better of you, and I'm going to say that's, you're thematically allowing it to bother you.
Yeah, I'm good still.
Okay, so give me 1 point of sanity.
I would like to not.
You don't have to, but you do have to. So you kind of kneel in the corner and you sort of softly rock yourself. And he gives another wail in the door.
Wait, do I get a turn? I got one before he wailed, and then I didn't get one after he wailed.
Okay, yes, you can.
So I'm gonna yell. Mine's 40, so I should have gone before Jarrett.
Okay, so go ahead.
So I'm yelling at Jarrett. I said, Jarrett, you yellow-bellied son of a bitch, get over here and help us. He's gonna kill us if we don't drop him. And I'm trying to convince him. And then I
don't have anything to hit him.
Hey, I hit.
Okay, perfect. So you fire at him and you hit, and you roll your damage.
How much damage do I do? Anybody?
It should be on your...
Yeah.
Revolver, it's 1d10.
I don't think you have a revolver, isn't it? Jarrett, Roland only gave you guys the Colt.
Cool.
Isn't that a revolver?
No. It would be a semi-automatic. So, let me see. I have it on Edwards, I think. What are you, Roland? Where are you, Roland?
I should have brought the shotgun in. That would have been smart.
Yeah, into the sanitarium. Let's get this shit on the road. Please don't walk in, sir, with a drawn shotgun. 45 automatic is a... Oh, yeah, it's a 1d10. You're right, sorry. Well, it's the same.
3. But I can roll 2 more shots.
And plus your damage bonus.
Oh, does it include my damage bonus? Isn't that just
I think...
No,
it's
gun?
1d10 plus your damage bonus.
For a gun? I thought that damage bonus was just for melee.
I guess that would make more sense. Okay, so just that. So just 2.
Okay, 3.
Or sorry, just 3.
I'm going to try it for 2 more shots.
Okay, but how many shots does your gun have? I think it's only 7. So you fired 3. So yeah, you're good for another 3.
So here's that. Nope. And yes.
Nice.
46 is no good, right? Is that how that works?
No, that's a...
No, that's a 4. Or that's a 6, sorry.
Oh, you just take that one? Okay.
Yeah, it's the lesser of the 2, so it's still... And both are 0, so you're fine. So that one hits as well. So roll 1d10.
So another 6.
Beauty.
Another 6, perfect. Okay.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. So that's 6 shots I've had, so I have 1 more shot before I have to reload.
Right. All right. So...
Does he take damage?
Either way, so he... What?
Does he react at all to taking damage?
Yeah, so you fire at him and you hit him in the shoulders, in the left shoulder, and you can hear he was holding something in his left hand and it drops to the floor with a thud. But he still holds the pipe in his right hand and he continues wailing on the door. And... Okay. And you see the door move in as the table slides across with a ferocity, and he steps into the room, and we'll say he stops there. Well, no, he gets 2 attacks per round. That's not really an attack, so no, he's gonna swing. So he'll swing at you, Henry, because you are by a team. No, I guess Frank would be technically closer. How are you guys picturing this?
I'm picturing us standing side by side. So
Me too, and then Jared in the corner.
Perfect, double whammy. He swings at both of you. No, he'll. Okay, we'll do this. 1 to 2 for Henry. 3 to 4 for. Okay, so he swings at you, Frank.
All right.
Oh, and he misses. However, you get the opportunity to dodge or fight back. So you can roll for either you dodge or fight back.
Fight back would be melee, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to dodge.
Okay. Well, it won't really matter because you failed anyway, but...
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
So I fail, but it goes to me, so...
Okay, perfect. So, yeah, he swings, and you can tell that shots have taken a bit out of him, and he kind of breathes heavily as you stand before him.
Okay, so now it's up to me.
Yes. Well, technically, it should be back to Henry, but because he just went, we'll say up to you, Frank.
So I take a step to the side so that Henry and I are flanking him.
Okay.
And I take another shot at him.
Okay.
62 out of 55, and I'm going to use 7 luck to make that hit. Or can I do that on fight?
I don't think you can do it for combat, can you?
No, I can't.
Why wouldn't you be able to?
Because you can't change a bullet. You can't be like...
It's a skill like anything else, so like maybe he moved the wrong way and he hit him. It's lucky. Lucky shot. It ricochets and hit him. I treat it the same as any other one.
Okay, I get it, but
I'm pretty sure the rules say no combat. Or is it just no dodge?
Nope, sorry, it can be. It's just no damage. So yeah, you can do it for
okay, perfect. So yeah, 7, I'm going to use that. I'm down to 23. Lucky hit. And do 1d10. 3.
All right.
I'm going to use 10 luck to make that better. No, I'm just joking. Okay, and then I'm going to shoot him again.
And how many shots have you fired so far?
I've shot 3.
So
then
4.
1. Yeah, so then this is my 5. And I've got 8 shots.
8 in the revolver?
In this revolver. Pretty sure it said 8, because I remember it not being 6.
All right. So
So-
59.
51 or 57.
51. 59.
59 because it's the most of both.
Yeah. It's the
Okay.
worst of both, basically.
So then I'm going to use 4 luck points to make it work. Can I do that again?
No.
No,
No,
just
I don't-
one time.
Yeah, I don't think you can use it in multiple rolls on the same
Yeah.
skill. That seems weird.
All right. And
Yeah,
then
no, that's no. You definitely can do it for the first time.
last one is good.
All right, so the last one hits. 1d10.
Yeah, hard success.
Make it count, make it count.
Ah, come here.
Make it count.
No, I didn't.
No, it's
2.
okay.
I'm brazen.
So you fire at him again, twice more. Pop, pop.
3.
And again, you hit him in his lower chest and his stomach, and you see him reel. And he lets out a bellow that echoes through the halls of the sanitarium as Jarrett sits there in the corner, watching the sight unfold, and blood splashes against the door. And he breathes heavy. And he looks at you.
And I shout, "Get the door, Jarrett!"
Jarrett, it's your turn if you want to do anything.
Okay, so realizing that the 2 people that have been the most likely father figures in my life are actually in danger, the 2 people that have only actually treated me with respect and decency, I kind of snap, seeing that all of a sudden they're in danger and there's something I can do about this one. Unlike the lady that I watched die previously, where I was too frozen in fear. And I just actually leap up and jump on him and try to stab him with the dagger.
Okay, perfect. You had
And
to
I
make
will
it
fail
at least.
miserably.
And you fail.
Well, I don't know. I haven't tried yet, but I won't.
Okay, so give us a roll. We're gonna forego the whole
Oh,
difficulty
really?
of the leap, and we'll just roll for.
Oh! Fail
And-
miserably.
He gets the opportunity to fight back. Which he misses. He's doing terrible. So no, you go to leap on him, but you miss, and you go. "Ah!" Well, you describe it for us.
So, getting up from the corner, I pull out the knife, and I lunge forward, tripping over the chair that had also been pushed over on the ground, falling and rolling, which is why he swung and missed me.
Perfect.
And then I stab his foot.
And,
I'll try.
okay. And you just get toe or shoe. Damn! All right, Henry.
I will take my last shot before I have to reload.
Yes.
And
but
miss.
reloading is going to be a full turn, so you can't spend the rest of this turn doing it. It's got to be another turn.
No. Yeah, so I shoot and I miss.
Okay.
And then I run over to help Jarrett get up.
Okay. You're going to be running closer to the guy, though.
That's fine.
Well, he's next to you anyway, so that's not going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pull my knife out too if I can.
Why not? And he attacks. Yeah, because he was reacting. So now everybody's in. So 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, and it's going to be Jarrett. So Jarrett, after your immediate jump on him and his stab in his empty shoe, he reels back with the pipe and brings it down as hard as he can, and hits. Oh! Now you can roll dodge or fight back.
Well, I think either one I'm lousy at, but I'll give dodge a shot.
Okay.
Well, what would fight back be? Would that just be the unarmed?
Fight back would be you can stab him because you're by his feet with the knife.
But I would use my weapon attack to do it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, then I would try that because I'm a little better at that than my dodging.
Okay.
And I fail.
Okay. So he brings down the heavy pipe onto your back with a crack, and you can feel the metal just erupt your spine in a sea of pain as it spreads through your whole body. And give me, yeah.
Give me your life.
Give me a 1d4 plus 1d4. So give me a 1d8, I guess it would be.
Or 2d4.
Or 2d4, sorry.
Yeah, the odds are different.
Yeah. That's why I corrected it.
Sorry.
Will that be 5?
So 5 points of damage. And he attacks again. Oh, all right. At this time, he's going to roll again. And Frank, he turns to you. So he smashes the young kid at his feet, and seeing this, you lie out on your stomach. You pose no longer a threat, and he picks up, or he grips the metal pipe and swings it at you, Frank. And again, you can dodge or fight back. And what the fuck? Everything just disappeared for me. Did it disappear for you too?
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I succeeded my dodge.
Can you see what I got though?
You have nothing. Yeah. You're.
That's so weird.
What did you get?
We don't know.
We don't know, but that's okay, because you're the keeper.
My overlay just disappeared completely. The hell?
What the hell?
It was like gone mid-thing.
Damn it, hackers!
Hacker, activists.
Which
Whatever.
community member is this? Who's doing this?
Who? All right. Well, you succeeded on your dodge.
I got a 6, which is a extreme success.
Okay. Well, so you succeed anyway. Dodge wins in a. So even if you got an extreme, you would win. So
Yeah.
we'll say you won. So he
Unless
swings
you got
for
a
you.
critical.
No, even if it was a critical, it would have been a tie, and then you would have won. Right?
If you got a 1?
Yeah, because if you... Oh, no, I guess not. But
No.
do you want me to roll? Or how about we just say, you got
Let's
it?
say that. Let's say that.
All right. So he goes to swing at you and misses.
I
Your
dodge
turn.
right under it.
Perfect.
And as I come back up, I fire twice.
All right.
My last 2 bullets. The picture is not showing up.
Yeah, mine totally disappeared. Stupid Google Hangouts being
All right,
stupid.
it showed up that time and it missed.
Okay.
But if it's the first one, I'm going to use luck.
Okay.
I've got to use 18 luck to make it succeed.
No. Can't use more than 10.
Oh, okay. Then I will not. All right, then the second time it hits.
Perfect. Okay. Roll 1d10.
7.
7. Oh. So
So I've
close.
done 12 damage.
Okay, so
This is
you
done.
fire at him, and after taking careful aim, it passes right through his skull. And he stands for a moment, and then falls to the floor dead.
And with a grumble, I run to the door and slam it.
With a grumble, I run to Jarrett to make sure he's okay.
Okay. Jared, are you okay?
As I get up on my knees and hands and wipe the blood from my nose and my mouth,
I hand him my handkerchief and I say, "Good job, Jarrett. Nice try. You almost had him."
feel like my ribs are cracked, and I'm having a hard time breathing.
Can I try a heal, first aid?
Yeah.
Success.
Perfect. So that heals you, what was it, 1 immediately? And then 1 every few hours or something? I forget. We just
Figure it out after.
Yeah, we're almost near the end of it. So, as the body lay there motionless and dead, you... What?
I wanna see what's outside. I wanna see what he dropped. I feel like it's a body.
Okay, so Henry, you walk back out into the hall. And stepping out into the dim hallway, you see what he dropped, and it was a severed head, a human head from an unknown person. But as you stare at the head, your attention is caught and you turn down the long hallway, and in the flickering light, you see a black goat standing, and your veins run cold as you shake your head, staring at the creature before you.
And I call that the name.
What is the name?
I want to say Uric, but it's not right.
Nietzsche?
Yeah, well, yeah, Nietzsche.
Okay. Perfect. So, as you call out the name, Nietzsche, the creature turns its head slightly. And you hear an echo of thunder as the sky outside parts.
I try to say Ente as well, and Irwin.
So, again, the creature stands there with no movement. Hold on, I'm trying to get a good thunder roll. Apparently thunder sucks all of a sudden on YouTube. There we go. There you go.
I got more of a toilet flushing.
So you turn to it and you say Nietzsche, Enti, as the creature kind of cocks its head slightly. And which, with a passing bolt of thunder, the building shakes ever so slightly. And sure enough, as a crash of lightning illuminates the hall for a second, the figure disappears. However, standing behind it, farther back, you see a woman. And as you study her face in the dim, flickering light, you sense a sense of familiarity comes over you, and you know it is Anna Stancic.
Want to end there?
No, we got a little more.
Okay, well, Anna, I call out to her. And I
So,
I talk
without
to Jared
facing
and,
a beat, she recoils in horror, as if she's hearing a different sound, and she spins around and runs.
I wonder if she's seeing me as the goat. I tell Jarrett and I say, "There, Frank, Jarrett, it's Anna," and I start running down the hall towards her.
Hey, Henry. Reload your
gone.
gun.
Well, my gun's probably in my pocket.
I
But it's
reload my
empty.
gun
Yeah.
and call to Jarrett. Make sure Jarrett's okay. And Jarrett, are you going to be able to move?
Yeah, it should be good.
Perfect.
Pretty beat up.
Okay, Henry, so you follow, and quickly you follow her up a set of stairs at the end of the hall. And as you're rounding the stairs and flashes of lightning are calling through the open windows, you eventually reach the door at the top, and you swing it open to find yourself on the roof of the building. And you stand there with the crimson sky above you and clouds rolling, and you see her standing on the edge of the roof. And for a moment, you see her enthralled in the landscape. She just kind of stares, as if she'd seen nothing but sky for the past 30 years. This city looks almost surreal to her, and slowly she turns around to face you as thunder cracks loudly.
I was just saying, and I put my hands up, and I don't go closer to her. I stand where I am. And I don't actually even say anything, because I don't know what she's seeing when she sees me. So I'm going to wait for Jarrett and Frank to come up too.
Okay, so moments later, Jarrett and Frank come up behind you, but they're still a few feet back.
I say,
as you
Frank,
stand out a little
Jarrett,
closer.
shh. I think she's afraid of me. She's near the edge. I don't want her to jump.
So as your lips move, she kind of turns to you, and she shakes her head. And she says, "There's nothing you can say that will convince me you are here to help."
What do you see?
We're not looking to help you, Anna. We're looking for you to help us.
Someone can roll a psychology.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I bribe her? I have money.
We're here because we need your help, Anna. And that is an extreme success, sir.
Okay, so you can tell that she is extremely terrified as she's slowly shaking her head, but you can tell, Moro, that she's not understanding what you're saying. She doesn't understand your language. Not in a way, you're not speaking English to her.
Should we show her the dagger?
No.
It's the only thing from, but it's from her grandmother's house, or aunt's house.
Well, what about the pages from her diary?
So as you stand there, she makes a praying gesture, and she looks up to the sky.
Do you think she's gonna? Do I get the impression she's about to jump?
Yes.
And I take out the pages from her diary.
I run towards her to try to get her.
Anna, we need you. We need you to help with your diary.
Saying this, and I'm hoping that's going to distract him to just sprint and try to get her before she jumps.
Okay.
So
I'm going to let one of you go first and one of you go second. Which one's doing it?
I imagine Jarrett would be able to go before me because I got a distance to run.
Okay. So Jarrett, what do you do?
I take out the pages of the diary, from her diary.
Okay.
And I show her. And I say, Anna, we found these. These are yours. We need your help reading them.
So, from her praying gesture, she looks back down and kind of squints at you, cocking her head. And she glances at Chris running towards her, and her face is of utter horror. But you can see a recognition behind her eyes when she looks at Jarrett's hands.
I need you to read these for me, Anna.
I see her. Maybe I would probably react seeing her kind of acknowledge Jarrett. Probably stop as best I can.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, Jarrett, you must be yelling this, I imagine, over the thunderstorm behind me. I'm just picturing me afraid she's going to jump and try to catch her before she jumps, and you're yelling this at her. I don't know if I would have time to stop and react. What do you, Keeper? What do you think?
I think if you're unsure, you can always roll luck or listen.
Okay, I'll do it or luck. See what happens. Not a success. Listen would have worked. Oh well.
Well, if you want to do listen makes more sense.
Okay.
So you do hear Jarrett. Do you stop?
Based on her reaction, I would.
Okay, so you stop, and Jarrett, with outstretched hands, you hold her diary pages, and with a confused look, she stares at you.
Yeah, and what was it? What was it that she said I'm trying to remember.
She said there is nothing you can say that will convince me
in
you
the last pages that we saw, it was that she won't complete a mission, or...
If you want to roll an education, because you have read these pages before,
yeah.
I will give you a hint.
Yeah, that's an extreme success, sir.
An extreme success. Interesting. Then I will give you a major hint.
Oh, hang on, sorry. What's the difference again?
Hard success.
Hard success. Hard success, not extreme, sir.
Then... No. No, I'm just kidding. Then I will give you a big old hint. As you stand there, looking at her with the pages out and a confused look on her face, a diary page runs through your head, one that you found early on. Do you want to read this one out?
This one's well kept compared to the other ones.
Yes. I woke up in the house within the woods today, and I was bathed in sweat, and as I had strange dreams last night, I remember being afraid for my life. Something dark pursued me through the dim hallway. A mutter of crows followed me up a set of stairs to the roof of the building, and I imagined myself standing on the roof of the building, though I'd never seen it before. I ran to the edge of the roof, surrounded, and looked out on the dark and sprawling city, a vast sea. Houses dotted the landscape. I turned around to see the mutter of crows, which had formed into a man who stood before me. And he stopped and stretched out a hand to me. My heart was pounding. I was so afraid. He began talking, but I couldn't understand the word the man was saying. and I remember shouting over the rumbling of thunder, "There's nothing you can say that can convince me you're here to help." Then I remember looking up at the sky and praying, and he began to laugh maniacally as I saw his eyes, crimson, and yet stood as black. Sorry while I scroll down. As he approached me, I knew in my heart I had to save my secret, though I don't know what I was saving. I turned around to see the city and fell to my death. I woke up this morning.
So that's the page that you remember.
Yeah.
So you quickly turn to that page.
And I say, Anna, we know about your dream. We know you're here in your dream right now. We know you've lived this before in a dream.
And I would hear him saying this, and it would realize what she's seen. She's seen me as this murder of crows, and turning into this man reaching out towards her. And I immediately back up.
So, with kind of a cocked look, she lowers her hands and looks to you as you hold up the page, Jared.
Yeah, and I'll bring my hands down as well because I don't want her to think I'm reaching out. And I'll put the pages more holding them this way, down, as opposed to holding them out. Please, Anna, we need you to finish your mission.
And kind of with a curious, kind of a displaced feeling, she steps down from the ledge and slowly walks over to the page and kneels, and grabs it from you and holds it, reading her own hand.
I'm going to get behind her, so if she has to run to the edge, I'm going to be in the way.
Okay. So slowly you kind of just tuck behind her?
Yeah.
And Anna Stanzik, we've been looking for you for so long. We so need your help.
And she looks at you, and she looks at the page, and she says, "It's coming. You have to stop it."
Tell us how, Anna. We need to know. We don't know how to stop it. We need your help.
It's in my diary. It's all in my diary.
Where's your diary, Anna?
With my brother. And we'll stop it there. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Sorry the overlay got lost for some crazy reason. Google Hangouts hates us. But we want to thank you guys so much for being here. It was such an exciting game, and we are coming back with 8, 9, 10, ramping up to the tension. Sanity's going to get lost. Health is going to get lost. Everyone's going to die. It's going to be a whole bloodbath of fun. So please come back next Wednesday for our game. And thank you so much for being here tonight. Give yourselves a round of applause!
Harlan, great game. Unbelievable.
Sorry?
Great game so far.
Thank you. Excellent. All right, guys. Do you have anything else to say? We are good to go?
Good to go. Great game.
All right. Have a good night, guys. And we, as Chris always likes to say,
see you around the table.
See you around the table, guys.